The MJ Morning Show here on Q105. When I say it is the MJ Morning Show, I really mean it is the MJ Morning Show. Oh, here comes Fester. Oh, Fester just strolling in. Well, no, it was just me.
Yeah,
so
for 3 seconds.
Well, how would I know? I didn't hear from you. I don't know if you were coming in. I'm sitting here. The show goes, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, the opening music ends, and I'm the only one in the studio. No one's here. Froggy on vacation. Roxanne on vacation.
Look, I had it timed to the perfect second, and then I had Pat George stop me in the hallway, talk about flashing lights or something.
I just walk right by him. When I'm in a hurry, and Pat wants to have some kind of sit down conversation and have crumpets and tea, I just like, Pat, I gotta go.
The hallway's not big enough.
I can't talk right now.
It's a narrow hallway.
Yeah.
He is a large man. I'm a large man. So we're belly to belly, nuts to guts, swiping by each other in the hallway.
No, what?
It's
nuts
not comfortable.
I don't want to hear that.
Good morning. How are you?
Nuts to guts, and not only are you a large guy, along with Pat George, in this narrow hole. It's like a thin ship's cabin hallway. You know. Yeah. I'll tell you again. The prior company that built this radio studio out before Beasley Media Group bought this place in late 2014, I'm going to tell you right now that CBS, they're a bunch of imbeciles. I mean, a total bunch of imbeciles that built these studios, because the hallways are ridiculously narrow. The studios are stupidly small. Yes, our traffic guy's coming down here now.
I never stopped that guy. He ran by me so fast, and I said, are the lights on flash? I don't know.
Listen, first of all, you did stop me because just slowing me down, slowing my pace. I'm only 2 seconds late, Pat.
What do we have, 5 or 6 radio stations in the building, a bunch of morning shows? Pat listens to the MJ Morning Show. So, all right, now, the lights, yes, Pat.
And the other ones really get mad at me.
Well, listen, you know where the entertainment value is.
Thank you, Pat.
Now,
have a great day.
Now, hold on a minute. You asked Fester again with the lights flashing?
He goes, I don't know.
How do you not know?
I didn't take 4th Street. I took 9th.
He comes down MLK, I guess.
Then you wouldn't know.
Right.
How are those lights, by the way, that you were going to fix for us? Because I hate them as bad as you do.
Fester, did you ever get me the traffic guy from the city of St. Pete again? Can you find that? And he's in the office early. Yeah, on 4th Street.
Terrible.
At 116th. The turn arrows go, and there's nobody there. It's like, aren't there sensors that are supposed to know? I mean, every other intersection that I know of, a lot of times the turn arrows don't delay you for a minute or so when nobody is sitting in the turn lanes. And on 4th Street, 116, I'm there at 5:25 in the morning, and sometimes I have to wait for the arrows for the left turns to go, and there's nobody there. I'm the only car at the intersection, No one's in either direction,
Right.
and I got to wait for these stupid arrows.
I think of you every morning going through there. I go, please get MJ so he'll fix these lights.
Yeah, Fester, I asked you earlier in the week.
Yeah, I looked him up.
Find that traffic guy because we called him because he fixed the
You,
light.
you fixed the one on MLK.
Yeah,
It's horrible.
Yeah, there was an issue at the MLK Roosevelt intersection.
Right.
And there was something wrong with the timing, and we got a hold of the traffic guy from the city of St. Pete.
Right.
And I guess that's a state road also, so he had to get the state. But they fixed it within, a week or so.
Did you notice a new pattern on the interstate this morning?
Oh, yeah. So if you're headed on I-275 South, if you're coming right out of Tampa, I-275 South on the Howard Franklin Bridge, right on the Tampa side, they've got all kinds of the whole lane situation does a new S-turn, twisty, curvy.
Yeah, crazy.
So, they move lanes over, which, when people are driving like maniacs and they're driving at 75, 80 miles an hour.
At least.
Yeah, that people are going to be drifting out of those They finally fixed up on 275 North near MLK in Tampa.
Okay.
275 North. Hillsborough, MLK, in that. They had that crazy jog. Remember?
Yeah, that was at Hillsborough Avenue.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was Hillsborough. There was this is like 2 months ago. There was a ridiculous jog in the interstate.
Right.
And I don't know how many people got thrown out of their lanes. But Fester, when did they fix that?
They fixed it. It was only that way for like 2 weeks.
Right.
And you drove over. But it's been a couple of months since they fixed that. But that was insane.
It was insane. It was the stupidest, most moronic lane shifting. It was, I don't know how many accidents there were, but people clearly went out of their lanes and probably sideswiped people. That was the dumbest traffic lane shift pattern change I think I've ever seen.
Saw it every day at 11:30, 11 o'clock.
The only thing worse would have been if you put like a bus stop right in the middle of the interstate. That might have been the only thing. Heartline bus stop or whatever the hell they call it these days. Anyway, yeah.
I got to go do traffic.
But at 5:25 or so, the traffic lights at 4th and Gandy were on flash.
Yellow for 4th Street and red for Gandy.
Yeah, if you're headed down 4th, you have the yellow flashes, and then if you're on Gandy, you have the red flashes, which mean you have to fully stop and then proceed. Yellow, you can just proceed
I'd
with
almost
caution.
stop and watch. So.
All right, so I don't know what put those lights into flash.
Slow that guy down.
Anyway, thank you, Pat. Appreciate it.
Pat. Go do
I don't know. I had a whole thing planned for the beginning of the show, and you walk in at the last second. I got Pat stopping you in the hall.
I didn't ask him to come down.
I got traffic crap talk here, and I got important stuff to deal with. Like, I guess your favorite chocolate chip muffins from Aldi have been recalled
over a stupid thing. If you're not affected by it.
Yeah, condoms fell into the batter.
Yeah, and I'm not affected by condoms.
No,
I'll eat a few of those.
I'm kidding. That's not true. And why were they recalled? Because there might be undeclared nuts.
Yeah,
is that it?
Extra nuts, or there's no nuts on the label. It's a chocolate chip muffin, and they're really a good muffin. And I guess walnuts are in the batter, or maybe a couple of walnuts fell into the mix.
May. So Aldi. Yeah, this is Fester's top story. This is what he sent me last night as breaking news.
This is big news. First of all, you have no idea how good that muffin is. It's a pretty good muffin.
Some chocolate chip muffins sold at Aldi because they may contain undeclared walnuts. What Paulie Walnuts has to say about all this. 6:07. All right, I got to get back on track. I had a whole opening of the show planned, and you and Pat just derailed it.
Sorry.
All right. It is MJ and Fester today. No Hadley, no Chloe today. Now let's grab traffic with Pat. is the MJ Morning Show, and I am MJ with Fester at 6:19. And man, I saw this yesterday, actually, and I had it in the pile yesterday. I didn't get around to it. You want to talk about a lucky as crap kid, 19 years old, right? We've got a Florida teenager, 19, who is going to get $1 million a year for life.
Oh my God, it's so much money.
Yeah, one of these like lottery scratcher super prizes. Now, is there some catch? Is there some, I'm sure there's some fine print here. You know, a lot of times, you win something for life. I mean, it's still a good prize, but there's always seemingly some kind of catch. Yeah, so a teenager from Pompano Beach, which is over in Broward County on the other side of the state, he's got $1 million a year for life. It's, I guess, the actual scratcher was the $1 million a year for life spectacular.
Yeah, there's two top prizes.
And this kid got one of them. I'll tell you what is even more puzzling here is how to pronounce his first name. It's Hyury.
Hyury? That's what I kind of thought.
Hyury. I mean, I'm just itching for another vowel here, Pat. Can I buy an A, please, Pat? Oh, sorry.
I could even use a couple of more consonants.
Sorry, no A. Hyury.
Hyury. HR.
No. There's no R in there. It's
H. I'm looking at the check.
Oh, hold on. I'm looking at the story, and the name is spelled wrong in the story.
Autocorrect doesn't know what to do with that word. Hyury.
Yeah, the story that I have, it has it spelled as Hyury, and Fester's looking at the official release from the lottery, and it's spelled Hrury. So there's not an extra Y in the. So it's how?
Hyury. I could use more vowels. I could use more consonants. Just more letters in general.
So this kid's 19. What are the actual rules here? That's what I want to know. I mean, does he really? He's 19. If he lives to 90, you're telling me he's going to get $90 million? What's the catch here? It can't be for life. Well, and what if they figure out how to put a head in a jar and connect tubes and have you live to like 2,750 at some point?
$1 million a year.
So the head in the jar is going to get $1 million a year. Is that it?
There's got to be some amateurized buyout or something to where you know.
And what do you mean amateurized?
I said amateurized, not amateurized.
It sounded like you said amateurized.
No, you're the amateur today, my friend. No, so but there's got to be some buyout. Where he gets a lump sum.
So he bought a scratcher at the A&J Zebra Supermarket. What is that? In Deerfield Beach. He chose to receive his winnings as a one-time lump sum payment of $640,000. So wait a second. Yeah, exactly. Ho, 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 ho. Hold the phone. How the hell is that $1 million a year for life, and he takes a one-time lump sum payment of $640,000? But this goes back to the original thing. What is the catch?
No. Is that the year's money? He chose to take his winnings in a one-time lump sum payment of $640,000 after taxes. That's 1 year.
Are you sure that's the first? Are you sure?
If it's $1 million a year for life, then next year he gets another $640. Then he gets another $640 and another $640.
But it doesn't delineate that. I'm looking at the story here. It was a $50 scratcher. Also, I was kind of wondering how many 19-year-olds drop a $50 bill on a scratcher.
So here's my theory.
Yeah.
Grandma bought it.
Grandma bought it.
Because I showed my wife the story, and she's like, what would we do if you won this prize? And I was like, well, if my kid was of age.
Hang on. I just found the ticket. I just, while we're talking, I just did a search. I found an image of the actual ticket, the $1 million a year for life spectacular scratcher ticket.
And Florida Lottery does that. They'll show you the hard ticket.
I'm looking at it. I just found it. I'm looking on my phone here. I found the picture of the hard ticket, and it says, because I was looking, what's the small print here? $1 million a year for life spectacular, guaranteed, minimum 25 years. So
that means if Grandma would have won, let's say Grandma's 98 and she dies at 99, she's guaranteed $25 million.
So guaranteed minimum $25 million. So if Grandma buys the ticket at 86 years old and she dies in 2 years, does the estate get $1 million a year for 25 years? And then you got a whole bunch of kids and grandkids fighting like cats and dogs and hating each other and disowning each other. Is that it?
That's the only way to go.
Apparently so.
So, this guy potentially can live another, he's 20 now, 19 years old now. He's going to live another 60 years, 65 years. He's going to come into money every year.
Yeah, but again, the story that I have, it says that he chose to receive his winnings as a one-time lump sum payment. It doesn't qualify that it's a one-time lump sum for the first year or all subsequent years. So is that what it means? It has to mean that. But the story is so poorly written.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This story out of
that's a different
CBS News says a Pompano Beach man won $1 million prize.
Yep. For
playing the Florida Lottery's $1 million a year. So he didn't win $1 million a year. He won $1 million.
What the bleep?
There's two top prizes of $1 million a year, and then there's like 25 $1 million prizes, which this kid won.
How misleading is the headline on the Channel 8 story then? Florida teen claims $1 million a year for life prize.
By definition, that is a poorly written title.
It is. It's a horrifically written title. All right, so that's Channel 8's story, and then you found a CBS Miami story. Hey, let me see their headlines. Scroll it up to the headline. Pompano Beach man hits $1 million prize. See, that headline is written properly because the other headline, it gets you to assume that he claimed $1 million a year for life prize and that he won the $1 million a year.
This guy just hit a one-time $1 million scratcher. He took his one-time payment of $640.
Okay, I'm scratching my head over here. I'm scratching my butt over here. I'm scratching everything like I got a bad case of pinworm.
All right, still a lucky kid, but not as lucky as you thought he was.
Oh, man.
And I guess that blows my theory out of the water about Grandma winning.
So, I mean, what's going on with news reporting these days? It's just a mess. Holy crap. Hey, speaking of money, do you remember that insane item we had that there was that big, huge trial going on up in Minneapolis? And a juror in the case had $120,000 dropped off at their door saying, all you need to do is vote to acquit.
Yes.
And there's more money where this came from. Do you remember? We did this a couple of weeks ago. And man, talk about some kind of plot out of some TV show or movie. Well, there's a follow-up on that. 5 people were charged on Wednesday of this week trying to bribe a juror up in Minnesota. And this was a huge fraud case involving COVID-19 and ripping off the government for millions and millions of dollars. So this is a COVID-19 fraud case, and this juror had $120,000 dropped off at the front door in a bag, and like a papered bag, saying, "Hey, there's more of this coming your way if you just vote to acquit the defendants on trial." Anyway, 5 people have been arrested.
Oh, wow.
5 people charged with the attempted bribe.
How'd they find him?
Abdi Aziz, Shafil Farah, Abdi Majid Mohammed Noor, Saeed Shafi Farah, Abdul Karim Shafi Farah,
I have a question.
Osama bin Laden, Muhammad I'm sorry, it's just Laden. No, not Osama bin Laden. It's just Laden.
Are those the guys who were arrested, or is that one person's name?
No. So these are the 5 different people.
Okay, I didn't know.
All right, Laden, Ladin, not bin, but just Laden, Muhammad Ali. Why do we have to drag the greatest of all time in this? Allegedly teamed up to bribe. So all 5 of these folks teamed up to bribe one of the jurors that was in this $250 million fraud case against 3 of them. And the Minnesota U.S. attorney described the bribery plot as something out of a mob movie. That's what we said. Where 5 people allegedly tracked down the juror and left $120,000 at her home inside a Hallmark gift bag. Is that from like a Hallmark card shop?
I guess so, yeah.
With the promise of more to come if she voted to acquit. Well, they were able to track these. Listen,
she turned the money in.
She called authorities immediately. She did the right thing. But if there's this huge $250 million fraud trial, right, and you're a juror, and they try to bribe you with $120,000 left at your front door, it's not serious police and detective work that needs to be done to figure out who you should probably look at. Anyway, I just wanted to do the update on the story because that's a fascinating deal, and 5 have now been charged with that bribe plot. That is, that's like pre-morons in the news, but guess what? I've got actual, real morons in the news coming up in moments. If you are a homeowner and you have... 6:40 at the MJ Morning Show, Friday morning. The weekend is within my sights. We're supposed to get rain this weekend. We don't do a lot of weather on the show, but, because you can just check your damn phone, and my phone kind of tells me the weather.
Yeah.
What is supposed to have some rain, or is it just the typical patterns?
I think we're supposed to have rain every weekend for the next, 8 weeks.
There you go. All right, early morons in the news. I laughed out loud when I saw this headline. HOA board member caught on video pooping on neighbor's house.
On the house? Like on the side of the house, or did he actually go into the roof?
Well, I mean, what visual do you get when you hear a headline? This is from Fox 59. I didn't know it even went that high. Fox 59. I guess the old UHFs went up to, 83 or something? Yes, Channel 83.
That's in Indianapolis.
Yeah, so Fox 59 is the Indianapolis Fox station, and that's where the story's from. HOA board member caught on video pooping on neighbor's house. That's actual audio from the event. A retiree and board member of a neighborhood HOA is accused of defecating not once but twice on the side of a neighbor's house and was denying the act until the video evidence was presented. You folks, again, this is a public service announcement. We've talked about this many times on this program. You have to just assume that wherever you are, wherever you go, that you are being videoed. You're being recorded. Everyone is a little mini TV station with their cell phones and 4K quality video. I mean...
That's just you're talking about phones, but even walking around your neighborhood.
Well,
you walk around your neighborhood every day.
It's the Ring cameras.
Yeah.
It's surveillance cameras that people have. They're everywhere. You've got cities and municipalities. You have businesses that have cameras everywhere. We are a surveillance society these days, and the default position should be that I'm being recorded. Even if you think you're alone, you should just assume that you're being recorded. So this guy denied, I didn't poop on anyone's house. And, well, then here comes the video evidence. Court documents showed how the homeowner in New Palestine, isn't that where that train derailed?
I thought that was Ohio.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. That was Palestine. Yes, Palestine, Ohio. And by the way, I believe you say Palestine and not Palestine.
Yeah, I bet you they're real specific about that.
The Palestine is over there, and here, same spelling, it's Palestine.
I did not know that there's so many Midwestern states that has a Palestine in it, or Palestine.
Yeah. So, New Palestine, unless in Indiana they do call it Palestine, I don't know. So, court documents are now showing that the homeowner went out to mow his lawn on May 29th to find a pile of human feces beside his air conditioner. The condenser unit outside with the fan.
How did he know it wasn't?
You know what? If he would have pooped on the condenser unit, talk about the bleep hitting the fan.
That was just a good joke right there.
Yeah, man. Wait a minute. He pooped next to the air conditioner fan unit?
Nope.
He should have pooped right on it, because then would have hit the fan.
What a mess.
And this wasn't the first time the homeowner found the human poop piled beside his home. And I guess you can tell the difference between dog and Freddy's.
I mean, can you?
Oh,
I don't know.
According to the court documents, the homeowner caught an unknown woman on surveillance video entering his lawn on May 2nd, the same day he found another gift.
Hold on. It's a woman?
Yeah, apparently so.
I was in my mind. I was mentally, this is something I would think a man would do.
After the second pooping was perpetrated on May 29th, the homeowner contacted police and handed over surveillance footage that captured the serial pooper in the act. And then the footage was also shared with Fox 59 in Indianapolis. A woman is clearly seen dropping her pants in broad daylight, squatting beside an air conditioning unit.
Wow.
To evacuate.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Documents reveal how, when confronted, the 74-year-old woman denied defecating against the man's house, but then they whipped out the video evidence, and then she changed her tune and then fessed up. Again, you got to assume there's video. They had a camera on the corner of the house, up in the soffit, up in the eave.
Yeah.
They had a camera, and it caught her.
Oh, my God, there she is.
Yes.
In broad daylight.
Yes. That is a freeze frame of her pooping on the side of the house.
And she's not wearing a dress. She actually had the, pants on.
Yeah, the homeowner told Fox 59, also it's CBS 4, so they got a little, maybe same company, they got a news deal here, news sharing. Fox 59 and CBS 4 in Indianapolis. I wonder if at one of those stations where news comes first, or I wonder if CBS 4 Indianapolis is on your side. Your side.
They only have like 6 slogans for news networks around the country.
Yeah. All right, so apparently there's an ongoing issue with the neighborhood HOA.
I'd say.
Yeah, there's something going on there, some kind of dispute. So the woman reportedly has stepped down from the HOA. She's been charged with criminal trespass, criminal mischief, and public nudity. They're all misdemeanor level crimes.
Your News Now.
Oh, is that what it is?
CBS 4. That's a good one.
CBS 4, Indianapolis, your news now. And then what is Fox 59 slogan?
Pooping HOA presidents lead.
No.
If it bleeds, it
no,
leads.
no, Fox 59.
Let me see. We go.
Your news, bitches. That's Fox 59 Indianapolis. Your news, bitches. That's their slogan over there.
Holy cow, you're right.
Yeah, look at that. It's
Fox
on their
59.
website. Fox 59, your news, bitches. Comma, bitches. All right, we have another total imbecile in the news, and this has to do with a former JetBlue employee. What wasn't it? A JetBlue flight attendant that was fed up with his job, and at LaGuardia Airport he pulled did he say something on the PA? I'm done. I'm out of here.
And he pulls the emergency slide.
He opens the door, activates the slide because the door was armed, and then slid down the slide onto the ramp at LaGuardia. This is like 10 years ago, maybe, and then just walks off the job. And I think he went to jail or prison. I think he got in big trouble for that. I don't know what it is with JetBlue flight attendants wigging out.
Steven Slater, a cabin crew member.
Yeah.
He quit after a confrontation with a passenger.
Right, and then said, I'm not going to take this anymore. I think he got on the PA system on the plane. The plane was parked at the gate at LaGuardia, gets into a fight with a passenger, flips out, and then opens the door after the slides were armed. When you're on an airplane,
yes,
and you'll hear armed and cross-check, when you hear that, the flight attendants like seemingly talking to each other on the PA system, doors armed and cross-check. That means that when the plane is ready to leave the gate and all the doors are closed, they will slide a lever or there's a switch, and that activates the slides. So on the ground, the slides are activated, and then when you land to get off the plane, they deactivate the slides. And what happened was, I guess the slides were activated, and this guy gets into a fight. He's like, I'm out of here. He opens the door, which then the slide deployed and inflated, and he just scoots down the slide and is like, I'm out of here.
I'm out. I quit.
All right, so that was, what year was that?
That was 2010.
Yeah, I said about 10 years ago, but so 14 years ago that happened. Steven Slater was the guy's name?
Yeah.
Well, we got another JetBlue employee. Well, a former JetBlue employee. And this is weird. This is like years delayed. A disgruntled former JetBlue employee was arrested this week for calling in a phony bomb threat and then leaving a cell phone with a note that read explosive device inside that retro TWA hotel at JFK up in New York. Dylan D. Vista.
Come on, Dylan.
Who was fired by JetBlue during the COVID-19 pandemic, allegedly left a cell phone in the lobby of the iconic hotel. Moments later, a 32-year-old former flight attendant, Vista, allegedly called the Port Authority Police Department at JFK from an airport parking lot and told them a cell phone bomb was inside the hotel. Bomb squad rushes to the scene and found the threat to be phony, fake. Yeah, cops arrested Vista at a local train station at the Jamaica after looking at surveillance footage and showed him near the hotel and then fleeing on the air train.
I mean, you talk about things that are under surveillance. It's a hotel lobby.
What a dope. His arrest came years after he was fired by JetBlue. What is wrong with this idiot? And so he's acting out 4 years after the whole COVID thing, after he was fired?
Had a lot of pent-up frustration.
Yeah, that's why we call it morons in the news. 6:51 at the MJ Morning Show. When we get back in minutes, we discuss something. Speaking of airplanes, we discussed something late in the show yesterday, and I said, you know what? We need to talk about this again and bring it up earlier in the show. And it was the woman that claims that they were thrown off a flight because they misgendered one of the flight attendants, calling a flight attendant sir instead of ma'am. And there's a whole gender and identity complication here. If you don't know this, this is an insane situation. So we'll get to that here in just a moment on the MJ Morning Show. People have gone nuts. And I don't know if there's more to the story, but you got to be careful, because if you tick off a flight attendant, they can throw you off the flight. They can just say that they don't feel safe, that you're a danger to the flight, that they can just say they're not comfortable with you being on the flight. So you got to be careful with what you do, how you act, what you say on a plane. And we'll get into that next. 6:52 at the... 7 o'clock exactly at the MJ Morning Show. MJ and Fester as we get ready to wrap up the week and get ready for the biggest travel day in history. Wait a second. MJ, you're giving us an old story. That story was last weekend. The biggest air travel day in history. That was last Sunday, right? No. It's getting broken again this weekend. Today, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yes. It's like every single week, it's now the busiest air travel day in history. Yeah, today. More people are going to fly in the United States today, Friday, June 28th, than ever before in the history of American aviation.
I guess next week is a big vacation week.
And that was also true, again, last Sunday. Remember, we talked about this earlier in the week. It's like, what was so special about last Sunday?
They're all coming home from there?
Well, you'd think on a Sunday, those are flights back home, but it's summer travel season, and, well, people are traveling, and today, over 3 million people are going to make their way through airport security lines around the country, kicking off another record-breaking travel stretch, close to the 4th of July. So today is the 28th. The 1st of July will be on Monday.
Yeah, but this is 4th of July week coming up.
And then the 4th of July is going to be on Thursday next week. So a lot of people are just saying, hey, we're off on Thursday. It's kind of midweek. Like, how many people are going to work on Thursday, the 4th of July, and then, correction, how many people are going to take off on Thursday, the 4th of July, and then go back to work on Friday, the 5th of July.
There's a lot of people who have to do that. I mean, if you work in any kind of store, or if you work in a bank, if you work,
Well, there are certain places, where that's the case. But like here where we work at Beasley Media Group.
We're open.
Well, yeah, I saw the email. It's like, on Friday, the 5th of July, we'll close the office early at 1 p.m. Who's coming in? I mean, most of the places that our, let's say, sales team would deal with, anyone making decisions, they're not working on the 5th of July when the 4th is a Thursday and the 5th is a Friday coming up next week.
Boss, I closed the big widget advertising account on the 5th.
All right, but today,
yeah.
Today's going to be the busiest air travel day ever, Friday the 28th, and that's going to now knock the busiest travel day ever from just last Sunday. Right out of the water.
It didn't hold the record.
Blow it right out of the water.
Short-lived record.
Yeah.
I was at the airport this week, and it was packed. And I was just there like on a Wednesday.
Or would you just show up and just, I want to just hang at the airport?
No, my son's new favorite thing is to watch planes land. And now that I have the Flight Aware app that you turned me on to, you turned me on to 2 flight apps, Flight Aware and Flight Radar 24.
Exactly.
We find out where the planes are coming from and we watch them land.
And do you guys go up on the top of the parking garage?
Top of the parking garage. And we're there. And we look at the different airlines.
Do you have to pay for parking?
A couple of bucks because like the first hour is free.
And
then we go down to the.
So hold on, you're just hanging on top of the parking garage for like hours?
No, we stay maybe like 30 minutes, and then we go and have nice like little winter restaurants.
Do you identify the planes? Oh look, that's an American 737-800. Oh look, that's a Eurowings Airbus A330. It's heading over to Germany.
Well, the app that we have, shows you the picture of the plane. So it's funny. You see the picture and then you watch it land and or take off.
Yeah. Oh look, that's an Alaska Boeing 737 MAX. Where watch carefully, the door might blow out. So
we haven't brought binoculars yet, but that's next.
Well, I want to just do sort of a public service announcement here because everyone's traveling. Lots of people are flying. Do not get kicked off your airplane. And it could be as simple as calling the flight attendant, sir, when the flight attendant identifies as a woman, might have been born a sir, might have been born with the wiener, but now identifies as being sans wiener.
Right.
So you don't want to get kicked off a plane. No. And I just thought, listen, busiest travel day of the year today, and then is next Wednesday, get it out right before 4th of July. The 3rd of July, is that going to be the next busiest day ever?
It might be.
Usurping and knocking today out of the water?
Listen, today's the day to start your full week vacation, your full 10-day vacation.
The point is, if you don't want your vacation ruined, you got to be careful. Do not get kicked off an airplane with something as simple as a woman from Texas was traveling, and we did the story late, and I think it was the last segment of the show. I'm like, you know what? We got to bring this back up. And then with this busy air travel day, this woman from Texas, she was traveling with her 16-month-old son. And she was at San Francisco International Airport heading to Houston, Texas. And this woman was getting on the airplane, and apparently she addressed the flight attendant getting on the plane with the wrong pronoun. And it happened multiple times when the flight attendant, who identifies as a woman, I guess, had interaction with the passenger. And then the passenger said, "Thank you, sir." And then the flight attendant got upset because the flight attendant might have previously been a man or a sir, but identifies now as a she. Got all bent out of shape. The woman says, the lady's name is Jenna Longoria.
And that's the person who got kicked off.
Jenna Longoria. And also the interesting twist is that Jenna Longoria identifies as a she.
Okay.
And she is a women's health and hormone expert.
Oh.
From Austin, Texas.
So she knew.
Well, no, I don't know that. But what I'm saying is that if she's a women's health and hormone expert, I got to believe that this Jenna Longoria, who was kicked off the plane for insulting the flight attendant, I got to believe that she's involved in all kinds of maybe hormone therapy for people making a transition, right?
Maybe that's what they do. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. So
Okay.
Jenna, who got kicked off, says that the flight attendant got upset. I walked to down the aisle, and then the woman was traveling with her 16-month-old infant, but also her mother, and then they stopped her mother and wouldn't let her come down the aisle with her, according to Jenna. And this is where things go from bad to worse. On board, Jenna asked another male flight attendant for assistance, telling him that he, the first flight attendant, had kept her mother back, who had been helping her with her 16-month-old son and the stuff she was carrying. And the other male flight attendant toward the middle or back of the plane as they're boarding said, he? The flight attendant says, she was wearing a dress. So the other flight attendant gets all bent out of shape in seemingly protecting the first flight attendant, who wants to be known as a she wearing a dress, but obviously this hormone therapy women's health expert thought that she looked like a he.
All right. Listen,
My God.
I don't think she was going out of her way to be disrespectful to that person.
Especially if you're in that line of work and you're a women's health expert specializing in hormone therapy, a hormone expert.
Okay.
She's got just an interesting fact pattern and chain of events here. So Longoria, her son, and mom were barred from flying. They threw them off the plane because the flight attendant was uncomfortable, apparently went to the captain, and the captain has ultimate say who flies on the plane. So the captain made the call and threw the mother, the mother's mother,
The mother's mother.
and the 16-month-old infant off the plane. You're out of here. 86th. But then to add insult to injury, their baggage was already loaded. So their baggage flies on to Texas from San Francisco. And they're off the plane.
Great.
Holy crap. And then they had this was on United Airlines. So this was United, and then they had to go buy like a last-minute ticket on American, which cost them an arm and a leg.
Well.
Man.
All right.
What a crazy story. I mean, you just don't know what's going to set people off. And again, this is like an air travel warning. You got to be careful. I mean, now if you cause a disruption,
Different story.
a whole different story where, they don't feel comfortable in flying with you. Maybe you're a threat to passenger and aircraft safety. Then they can make the call to toss your ass right off that airplane. But a misgendering this is the dopiest thing. I don't think this woman did it intentionally, especially since she's a women's health and hormone expert. Which,
I need to see a picture of everybody involved.
yeah, maybe she wanted to say to the guy who's now a she, you know what? You need to dose up your hormones a little more.
Let's step it up a little bit. Commit.
Give you a free consultation right here, right now.
All right. Awkward situation for everybody.
Yeah, so they were stuck at the airport, and they were trying to figure out if they can get on another United flight, and they were having trouble, so they booked tickets on an American Airlines flight back to Texas, which left San Francisco 3 hours later. No apology, no compensation for the American tickets. Are they going to get their United tickets reimbursed? Are they going to get a refund for the flight they were kicked off of?
No, they can just get a credit back to San Francisco to go visit their favorite gate agents.
And then the United flight, lands in Texas. I wonder if their baggage was just going around and around and around and around.
And the problem was there was some important medications in that bag.
Oh, that was another thing.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we mentioned that yesterday.
Right.
That they had all kinds of stuff and medication. One of the things when you travel, don't pack your medication. Yeah, take anything that's essential. Like if you have essential medication, don't pack that.
Yeah.
Carry that on. Be very, very cognizant. What if my luggage gets lost? Whatever you do, don't check important things like that. Carry them on. Simple as that. Now we are getting ready to load up an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. That happens about 7:25. 1 hour, 20 minutes of nonstop MJ is on the way momentarily. So we do it every morning around 7:25. Spread the word. I mean, no one does this. No one does all content for over an hour and 20 minutes with no music and no commercials. But we're about to do it again in minutes here on the MJ Morning Show. So I implore you to stand by. Hey, there's a balloon story I want to get into. Really? The price of a balloon?
What kind of balloons?
Well, this is a Party City deal. So
okay.
I'm perplexed. I need some schooling on this. I need to know if this is real or if this is fake news. I also have another hot mug shot. I'll let you guys decide whether you agree, whether it's a hot or not mug shot. And again, you're not going to believe it. It's out of the Village's news again.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 2 days in a row. Hot mug shots. I mean, my go-to for hot mug shots these days is the little Village's news up in the Villages, America's friendliest hometown.
Huh.
It's amazing. All right, 7:14 at the MJ Morning Show. If you... 725, rolling up on 726. Let's do it. Hour 20 minutes nonstop. MJ starts right now. MJ and Fester this week. We had Chloe in yesterday. We had Hadley, Fester's 12-year-old daughter. She was in a couple of times this week.
Yes.
Roxanne remains on vacation in Italy. Froggy is vacationing exotically in Pinellas County.
I think they made a day trip to Largo yesterday.
Oh man, that's an excursion.
Really exciting stuff.
An excursion. Was it a sanctioned official excursion, or did they go off the radar?
No, it was a family trip.
No, I'm talking about like on a cruise. You either do like an official cruise ship excursion where they got a vig coming their way. You know, they get a commission on that deal, or you do an excursion on your own. Yeah. Oh, so is that where Roxanne? Oh, so Roxanne is on the Isle of Capri right now.
Yes. So Roxanne.
Well, look at that.
She shared her location with me like 2 years ago and never stopped it. So I know where she is at all
Look
times.
at that. Yeah, Fester is showing me the map right. Hold it up to MJTV. And make sure you center it right. Make sure that the aperture zeroes in. Yeah, so right now, Roxanne is on the Isle of Capri, which is off of the Italian coast, off of, Sorrento or Napoli.
Yeah, right off of Sorrento.
Yeah. So I hope she didn't fall for the blue, what do they call that? The blue, there's a tourist trap on Capri. It's like the Blue Lagoon or the cave. You go into a cave, they charge you like $20 or something. And they just have a rowboat guy just takes you into a cave.
Is it the Blue Grotto?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. The Blue Grotto. Yeah, it's folks. If you ever end up in Italy and you're on Capri, don't go to the Blue Grotto. It is an absolute, complete BS tourist trap, and I'm hoping that Roxanne didn't get suckered into. Should we call her?
Would her call connect?
Yeah, well, it should. Hang on. It should connect. Hang on. Oh, I don't know her number. Hang on. I'm like,
you got to look her number up.
I know your number. You're 813-310-8444. I have no idea what Roxanne's number is. But let me warn them. I mean, if they're on Capri right now, I think I have to warn them, don't fall for the Blue Grotto tourist trap.
What if they're on the boat to the Blue Grotto right now?
Oh, no, they ought to just jump off.
Jump off.
Just overboard right now. All right, hang on. 727. All right, calling Roxanne's cell phone. Let's see if it rings in Italy. Let's see if we get that Italian, foreign, European ring. It's trying to connect. It's trying to figure out, where's Roxanne's phone? Where's Roxanne's phone?
Scouring the world.
Right now, it's scouring the world, and cell towers are pinging everywhere. Where's Roxanne's phone? Will it connect? Will it start?
It's been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 7-2.
I'll try it one more time because I feel compelled to have to warn Roxanne Wilder and Dig Dug about the Blue Grotto tourist trap scam. Let me give it a second, and then we'll try it back.
Again.
Yeah.
So
and Doug. Yes, Fester.
Her cell phone should be on her. It's 1:30 in the afternoon.
Oh yeah.
In Italy right now.
Hang on a sec. 727. All right. One more time, and then we'll move on. I've got a balloon question. I'm very curious about whether this is true. Oh, look at that. That's the international ring. There it is.
All right. She gonna answer? She's gonna send us the voicemail.
Come on, answer. Come on, Roxanne, answer.
She's gonna send us the voicemail.
Answer.
Your call has been forwarded
Oh, man. She said. Oh, man.
She's on Capri right now. She held her phone in her hand. She saw it was us, and she's like, voicemail.
You know what? She probably said, Doug, MJ's calling us now. And Doug said, just send that son of a to voicemail.
Hang up on that schmuck.
I'm going to do it one more time.
Come
Let's
on.
see if third time's a charm. Hang on a minute.
All right. Last time.
Yeah. 727. One more time, and then I gotta delve into this balloon question, and I'm sure some of our listeners can answer this for us. Yeah, here we go. Ring it again. I mean, what could they be doing? If they're on Capri, they're
just sitting there, right?
maybe having lunch at a cafe right now. Come on, pick up the phone. I'm trying to save you guys from falling into the Blue Grotto tourist trap.
What if they're in the Blue Grotto right now?
Could be.
Your call has been forwarded.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's hitting the end button. Yeah.
So she is actually back on the radio with us Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't even think she's back Monday, right?
Yeah, they booked Monday return flights because they were like a third of the price.
Oh, yeah. Weekend flights.
Yeah.
Coming back. Summertime, coming back from Italy. Oh, a lot more expensive coming back on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday versus Monday.
You could call it Italy. You don't have to say Italy.
Italy. Hey, I've got a question about Party City.
Yeah. I was in Party City just recently. I had to get the, what the hell did we do? The duck. When I smashed the duck in Froggy's face. Fabio. We did the Fabio reenactment.
Oh, you got a wig.
I got the wig and the blood from Party City.
Oh, so the fake blood and the wig for the Fabio reenactment.
So that was what, 3 months ago, 4 months ago?
Yeah, something like that. And I've got a question here.
Yes.
So you go to Party City, get a balloon bouquet, if the balloons, and doesn't it go into effect, is it July 1, the whole balloon law in Florida?
Yeah, one of the laws Governor DeSantis signed is stiffer penalties.
Yeah, no balloon releases. So you can't deliberately release balloons. I think it starts on, is it July 1? Balloon releases are officially illegal. Governor Ron DeSantis this week put, do you have a...
That's from a few hours ago. Let me find news.
Yeah, go to news. Click on that. I think it starts July 1. I think it's one of the new laws that goes into effect. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. Governor DeSantis signed 3 bills into law, including one banning intentional releasing of balloons for birthdays, gender reveals. You can't do it. And, right, it goes into effect on Monday, on July 1st. Scroll up, see if you can see July 1. See if it says when the law goes into effect.
It's either in effect now or it starts like on Monday.
Here we go, yeah. Yeah, July 1. Yeah,
okay.
The law goes into effect on Monday on July 1. So here's my balloon question, and I know that someone can help me out with this. You know you can get the big oversized numbers. If it's somebody's 38th birthday, you buy a 3 and you buy an 8.
Yes.
I saw an item where a woman flipped the freak out on social media because she allegedly went to Party City to buy a 3 and a 0, a 30th birthday for a friend. So they wanted to get the, typically it's like a gold or a silver Mylar.
Yeah.
A 3 and a 0. And this woman goes to Party City, and the large number or letter balloons are $6 a piece. All right?
Okay.
$12. But then she had them fill them with helium, and they became $15 a piece. Is that accurate? That the big letter oversized balloons are $6 a piece, but then when you get them filled with helium, so it would have been like $12, a little over $12. So $12 plus tax to buy a 3 and a 0 for her friend's 30th birthday, and then she had them filled with helium, and the total bill with tax was $32.15.
All right, I'm on Party City's website right now.
Yeah. All right, so there's the $6 confirmation.
34-inch white gold number balloons.
Yep, $6. So that's accurate.
Then underneath it says $14 with inflation.
Oh, my God. Well, she said it was $15. So
with tax, you have 14 and 14, 28 plus tax. Yeah, $30.
Are you kidding me? To put a little bit of helium into these numbers, the volume, the actual cubic inches or however it's measured of helium that goes into this, these are just like narrow tubes to construct the number or the letter. So you're telling me
that Party City charges for helium. Here's the big.
It's more than the price of the balloon just to fill it with helium.
You can get a larger number, a 50-inch gold number. 50 inches, that's pretty large. $15 for the balloon.
And $25 with helium inflation.
So that's 10 more bucks.
What? That is insane. You're looking at a little. Now, I remember that there was allegedly a helium shortage. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Remember the story, like, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, whatever. Oh, we're running out of helium. There's going to be a. Look that up for me quickly.
Sure.
Is there a helium shortage? I remember there were all kinds of stories. Oh, is your next birthday, is your next party going to be encumbered by or ruined by a helium shortage? I don't.
It's all over the place. Here's something from January. The U.S. has sold off their helium stockpile.
What?
I didn't know that we had a stockpile of helium.
What? I mean, how do you not just extract helium from, natural sources or extract it from the air? Because helium, we're breathing helium. We have trace elements of, mostly what we breathe is nitrogen.
Right.
The bulk of what we breathe is nitrogen. 21% is oxygen. And then the rest are, trace elements.
I wouldn't mind more helium. We start talking like this all the time.
You know what?
Welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
I want to breathe more argon. I don't know about you, but I'm craving argon.
Does it change your voice?
But that's ridiculous. The number is $6, and then you get it inflated, and it becomes $14 or $15. What the heck? I mean, anyway, I have not heard about a helium shortage. I just thought that was totally ridiculous. All right, if you want to see the next hot mugshot, and this is where you get to take a look at what I think is a hot-looking mugshot, and you decide whether I've got, like, drunk-ass beer goggles on or if there's something wrong with my taste. So you can either agree with me or disagree with me, but this is 2 days in a row, courtesy of The Village's News. This latest one looks like she's right out of, some kind of a Generation Z, I don't give a bleep, Abercrombie and Fitch catalog. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All right, so yesterday we posted this young woman, like I think 19 or 20, from a Lady Lake, and she's hammered. Yeah, she was busted, and then her mugshot from the Lady Lake Police Department or the Marion County Sheriff's Office was online. Guys, did you put the new mugshot, Andrew? Is that online? Fester, can you hit refresh?
Of course I can.
Yeah, hit refresh and see if this thing pops up. Because now there's another. I don't see it. Hey, Andrew, can you pop in here quickly? Can you?
I'm probably doing it wrong.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't be wrong. You should be up there. Can you, Andrew? Can you tell me what's going on with this? Because I don't. We don't see the latest mugshot. But our website is pretty bad. Yeah, our stuff doesn't publish all the time. But I don't know if people can see it and we just can't see it. Yeah, that's yesterday. So yesterday is still up. So maybe we have to do some kind of a colon cleanse refresher. But the latest is what?
I mean, I don't know if that's something you do to computers.
Yeah. Well, essentially, it's the same thing. So a pregnant teen, 18 years old, and she's already knocked up. How's that?
Listen,
Yeah.
okay.
A pregnant teen was jailed after allegedly smashing her boyfriend in the genitals. What was that over?
Oh.
It's those things right there that knocked me up and got me pregnant? Is that what that argument was about?
It's because of that.
Yeah. Kira Ann Romano of Summerfield, here in Florida, was arguing via text messages with her boyfriend, who's the father of her unborn baby. According to the arrest report from the Marion County Sheriff's Office, when he got home from work, he removed the items, his items, out of their shared bedroom. They apparently got into a fight. The woman, this pregnant, the 18-year-old, Kira Romano, started attacking him, striking him in the torso and the genital area. He attempted to walk away, but she continued coming at him. She called 911, claiming that he attacked her. She was determined to be the primary aggressor, and she was taken away. But
this is the photo.
Yeah, that's the photo. Listen, I'm calling it a hot mugshot. Andrew, is it on our website? So, you do see it?
It's appearing
Andrew,
on mobile.
Grab Mike too.
On mobile devices, it's popping up. On the hard computer, it's not.
No, well, it's your. Don't speak for all hard computers. So it is on the mobile device?
It's on my mobile device. It's on my desktop in there.
All right. So for whatever reason, I don't understand it. Why one computer, I don't know. Anyway, so you can go to mjmorningshow.com and you can see whether I've got a good eye for good mugshots or whether you think I'm out of my freaking mind and that I have no clue, no taste, and I've got just an awful eye. So yesterday's mugshot, I thought there was a lot to work with there. I thought that she was an attractive mugshot. And then again, today, with this prego 18-year-old. And listen, I'm not creeping on an 18-year-old pregnant girl, all right?
It's her mugshot. She's an adult.
She's an adult, and I'm just saying.
We're just observers of the world.
That's it. Two days in a row out of the Village's news, there are two hot mugshots. You want to see whether I'm right or wrong? Go to mjmorningshow.com. That's mjmorningshow.com and click on As Heard on the MJ Morning Show. So, As Heard on the MJ Morning Show, you'll see the picture of the whole team. Click on that, and then that's where we put links and pictures and stories that we talk about and we make available to you. So, go to mjmorningshow.com. Then click on As Heard on the MJ Morning Show. Just look for the picture of the whole morning show team, and then the headline will be As Heard. Click on that, and that takes you to the list, and you'll see the two hot mugshots. And, hey, listen, just yell out at your computer, MJ has no idea what a good-looking mugshot looks like, or, man, MJ's right, man, 2 days in a row.
You are a fan of long-headed women. That's a long head.
Long-headed women?
Yeah, because it's not oval and it's not round, but it's more like pill-shaped. That's a long face.
I'm telling you, if she looks this decent in the mugshot, that, when she's not hauled down to the Marion County Sheriff's Office for a muggy and is not beating up her boyfriend and nailing him in the nuts, she's going to look even better than this mugshot.
Oh, yeah? She's outside the Circle K in Marion County at 20 years old with a baby on her hip smoking a cigarette. And you're like, oh, yeah. That's my kind of lady.
Walgreens. Did you see the latest? Walgreens
What's happening at Walgrizzle?
Yeah, at Walgrizzle, they could be shutting down more than 2,000 stores. The story came out about Red Lobster filing for bankruptcy and Red Lobster shutting down like close to 90 locations, and that might expand. But then you hear that Walgreens is shutting down over 2,000 stores, potentially. Sales are plunging. They're calling it stubborn inflation. Walgreens yesterday said that it could close up to 25% of their 8,600 stores across the United States because sales are plunging. Inflation is taking its toll on Walgreens. Well, listen, we've talked about this. This is not a secret, all right? Speaking of secret, if you want to buy some secret deodorant, which, by the way, is strong enough for a man but made for a woman.
They don't use that anymore.
Yeah. That is not
gender affirming.
Is that not like appropriate to say anymore?
It's like now strong enough for a they, but made for a you, them. They don't say that. They don't say strong enough for a man.
Is that politically incorrect now?
Yeah, they don't. The commercial is like strong enough for a man. How? It's not what they say anymore. But anyway,
speaking of secret, here's the point I'm trying to make. If you want some secret deodorant, the price at Walmart or Target is going to be a bleep load cheaper than going into CVS or Walgreens. I mean, listen, I've used the example. I like the Dr. Bronner's soap.
Sure.
I've always called it Dr. B's. It's that Castile soap. I like the peppermint variety. It's a liquid soap. It's a biodegradable natural product. And I've been using it since summer camp, since I was like 6 years old. And I've always loved Dr. B's. And they have a whole bunch of different scented ones. I think the peppermint's the biggest selling one. That's the one I buy.
That's why you always smell like Christmas candy.
Like candy cane. And anybody see candy cane?
I just saw MJ walk by a little bit ago.
Oh, there's candy cane.
So, yeah, okay.
All right. Now, here's the deal. I've pointed this out to give you an example on pricing, that if you go to like Walgreens, the 32-ounce Dr. Bronner's Peppermint Castile soap, 32 ounces, so it's a quart. At Walgreens, it's like $21.99. And at other places, it's like for instance, Whole Foods will have it on sale. It's like $11.99. Or there are other places where, look at the difference on that.
So the 32-ounce bottle on Walgreens website with a discount is $20.99.
Okay, there we go. All right, so it's $21. $21. And you can find this for like $11.99 or $12.99. Look at Walmart. Right here. There's one of the Walmarts has it. Look at the third one. 11. Oh, that's a 16 ounce.
So the 32-ounce bottle at Walmart's $15 and change. Almost $16.
$15.97.
That's a savings of $5. That's 25%.
I bought 3 of them at Whole Foods, and when they go on sale at Whole Foods, and even then it's not anywhere near the Walgreens price. But I bought this soap at Whole Foods, and I think it was $11.99, and then I had an additional Prime discount. I think it was like $10.99 or $10.50. It was some ridiculous number. Or you can pay $21 for the same thing. I mean, almost twice the price. So, yeah, I can see why Walgreens is getting hammered. And now, with inflation and people being very conscious of what they're spending, that Walgreens is talking about closing over 2,000 locations.
So I don't use the pharmacy at CVS. I don't use the pharmacy at Walgreens. They have nothing that I need. Unless it's an emergency.
Right.
I mean, the real emergency. The kids have a cough and I need to run in and get something right away. I don't buy anything from CVS or Walgreens. They're such a, I don't want to say a ripoff, but they use their convenience factor as leverage to charge so much.
That's what it is. They're on every corner. They're so close to most people that they're banking on people paying more than Target and Walmart for the same the convenience.
The same reason I don't run into 7-Eleven for milk. They charge a disproportionately high price.
What is that?
That's thunder and lightning?
Our lights just flickered. Yeah, I'm hearing thunder through my headphones, and our lights just flickered. Andrew, keep your eyes on that, please.
Yeah, somebody feed the mouse because we need the wheel to run.
Yeah, our lights just flickered. What's going on? Let me look at where's my phone? Let me look at my radar scope and see what's going on. We don't do much weather here on the MJ Morning Show because, we all have phones and all have the apps. Oh, yeah, we got, just south of us. Yeah, it looks like a little cell moving right over like 4th and Gandy, but then just south of us, there's, there's so just south of the Gandy Bridge on the eastern side of Pinellas County, just south of Gandy, there's a massive cell moving toward South Tampa. So it's going to be Gandy Bridge and south. Then there's also like a cell that's just hitting a little bit north of the Howard Franklin 275 on the Pinellas side. So, yeah, I just heard a bunch of rumbling thunder, and then our lights flickered in here as well. There's a question, and I wonder if any of our listeners had this happen to them. There was a question on whether your employer can essentially confiscate your cell phone when you show up at work.
Ooh.
Yeah, I found this to be a fascinating potential discussion here. And the story was a question being asked of like one of those, lawyer question things. The person said that they started recently working at a fast food place, and when they arrived at the fast food restaurant, the manager took the employee's cell phone away and said, "You cannot have it back until after your shift."
It seems like there was a time when that was acceptable because, I've been to places where, cell phones away, no cell phones at work. But I see them everywhere now.
No, hang on a minute. I think we got to go deeper than this.
Yeah.
Can a place of employment take your cell phone away. So this is a fast food joint, and the employee goes to work, brand new, and the manager says, "I need your cell phone. You'll get it back at the end of your shift." I don't think they can do that. In certain environments, if you're in a highly secure environment, for instance, I guess I can say this now, Michelle, her mother worked for a very secretive, one of the spook agency connected. When I say the spook agency, that's the CIA. You know, and
she was an agent.
Well, Michelle's mom worked in legal for an even more secretive offshoot of the CIA.
She worked deep undercover in Afghanistan?
No. But she couldn't bring her cell phone into the building. She had to leave her cell phone in her car.
Yeah.
And listen to this.
I mean, it's secret information.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, if you're in a government, or if there's an understanding, and as part of your job, you agree not to bring your cell phone, or due to security reasons, you can't, or you have to lock your cell phone up. There are some places, for instance, wasn't there, when the cocaine was found at the White House, wasn't there a deal that there was like a locked area where when you went into the West Wing, you had to lock up your cell phone in a cubby hole or something?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I have to look that up.
Again, like Michelle's mom.
But the White House is a secure place.
Yeah. Right. So,
except for the cocaine, of course.
And Michelle's mom worked for a secret government agency.
Okay.
And they were in a suburb of D.C. They were actually in Maryland. Where their little nondescript building was.
But you don't want that information getting out because somebody's FaceTiming their kids or something.
You can't. She couldn't bring her cell phone in. And then Michelle's mom, I remember this story, like 15 years ago or something. She's retired now, but she accidentally brought her cell phone into the building, and no one even. It wasn't even detected. She self-reported that she accidentally brought her cell phone in all day, and it was in her purse, and she did not leave it in her car in the parking lot. She self-reported that.
Did she go to jail?
No.
As she should have.
She had she got written up.
Yeah.
And then had to do some security refresher course.
Sounds like she needed it.
Yeah.
So breaking the law.
Yeah. But at a fast food restaurant, I don't think they obviously can reprimand you if you're working your shift and you're on your cell phone constantly, and that drives me nuts.
All right.
When I see workers at stores or restaurants especially, and you look off and your server or one of the employees is like in the corner on their cell phone, that drives me nuts. I hate when I see that.
If you're working the airport tower.
Right.
That sounds like a place you don't want to have a cell phone.
Yeah. Well, say it again.
That sounds like a place you do not want to bring your cell phone.
I got to believe that the air traffic controllers at Tampa International, up in the tower at Tampa Approach, or what, I got to believe at KTPA, I got to believe that, you're not allowed to have your personal cell phone, playing Candy Crush or checking out your Instagram or FaceTime.
Do they still operate drones around the world out of MacDill Air Force Base? Military drones.
A lot of the drones are done out of the Vegas area,
okay,
but
so wherever that's
done,
wherever that's done,
right.
You probably don't want to bring your cell phone to that job. But if you're working like at Checkers, what's the big deal?
Right. An employer typically cannot confiscate your phone. I think the legal answer is that an employer cannot confiscate your phone. An employer can say, hey, you can't use your phone on the job, and they can sanction you or write you up or discipline you if you're excessively using your phone on the job. But they can't take your phone. And, for emergencies or if someone needs to get a hold of you, no. Unless you're in a situation where it is known due to your job that it's a security situation, no. If you're working at Hardee's or at Burger King.
Oh, man, Hardee's is so good. When was the last time you've been to a Hardee's?
It's been a while.
Dude, their biscuit game is on point.
Yeah, I've always liked the Hardee's biscuit. Yeah,
I'm serious.
As far as fast food biscuits go, always been a Hardee's biscuit fan.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that
up. All right, I'm running a little late on this,
right.
And I want to go to phone calls on this. So if you're at work and you're not supposed to be on your cell phone, feel free to call in on your cell phone. It's a beautiful segue.
Yeah, call us while you're on the job.
My teaser, my little promo for today, for my little 7:45, and we're running just a few minutes late here, is the claim that as you turn 30 or right before you turn 30, that everything feels different. I remember that when I turned 30, I remember all the hype, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
So going back a number of years when I turned 30, I remember the hype surrounding turning 30, but I don't think I felt any great shakes. But I was reading a story about someone named Michelle, who's 30, and then Zara, who's 29, and they have a podcast called Shameless. And they recently discussed this whole 30 situation, that something happens, and it's unavoidable. It is weird, as they call it, that something happens right before you turn 30 and when you turn 30, that everything is different.
Yeah.
They call it the late 20s switch. And I remember hearing that I was supposed to feel different, but I don't recall feeling different, or, having, my world rocked. Oh my God, I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm now 30. And I guess the same thing could be said for, 40s as well. But is this like a new enhanced, like a Generation Z millennial thing?
No.
That it's intensified? It's like hyper 30 now?
Maybe it's just talked about differently, but I remember 30 being a big birthday benchmark year.
So the Zara, who's 29, that turns 30 next month, she was saying everything feels different. Is this just in your, what feels, I want to go to phones on this. Let's grab a couple of calls on this. 800. Is this the real deal, or is this manufactured? I remember when I turned 30 that I was supposed to feel something, or there was this big awareness. Oh, you're turning 30. Oh, my God. But I didn't feel it. Nothing changed. And then when I turned 40, oh, my God, something like depression is supposed to set in. You're turning 40. Same thing. And then, oh, you're turning 50. Come on.
I think the decades are big birthdays, but 30 just hits different.
Yes or no? Is there a 30 switch? Agree or disagree? 800-990-1047. Is this just manufactured garbage, or have things changed a little bit? I'll tell you right now, there's no doubt about it that Generation Z is different than when I was the age, and all my friends and contemporaries were the age of where Generation Z is now. There's a whole different ballgame. There's an absolute blasé attitude for many, not all, but I think social media has corrupted. I think social media has had an awful net negative effect on society as a whole. And I think the brunt of that has gone to Generation Z, then millennial. So the question is, do you agree before you turn 30 or right when you turn 30, everything feels different? And is turning 30 today different than when I turned 30 years ago?
Years and years.
Years
Quite
ago.
a long time ago.
And listen, I remember that when I got married to Michelle, I was 27.
Yeah.
So and when we had kids, I think I was 34. We waited about 7 years before we had kids. All right, let's go to phones on this. Is this a thing, or is this just manufactured hype crap? 30, turning 30. Does everything change? 800-990-1047. I see guys are on hold already. I need the women to call in on this as well. So I need to hear from females, because the two women, Michelle 30 and Zara 29, they're the ones talking about this late 20s switch. 800-990-90
1047.
1047. 800-990-1047 is how you get in. All right, phones are ringing. They're screening the calls. 800-990-1047. About to be 30 next month, and everything is starting to feel different. Yeah. So Michelle on this podcast said that she was living out the lyrics from Taylor Swift's song Florida, in which she sings, "My friends all smell of weed or little babies."
Yeah. You know what? At 30, you really have two kinds of friends.
Yeah. And then she went further and explained that she feels like her friends are being divided into two groups. Those who are having babies, so they smell like babies, and getting married, and others that are in a different phase. You know, they're partying, they're traveling to Europe, they're smoking a lot of weed. All right, phones have blown up on this. Let me grab Ron in Largo. Ron, you're on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hi, Ron.
All right, good morning, guys.
Yes.
Love the show. Long-time listener. I
Thanks.
was actually calling in regards to phones in the workplace.
Yep. Oh, wait a second. Hey, guys, what are we screening here? What are we screening? This is we've moved on.
Ron might have been on hold for a while.
Ron, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish up here.
Yeah, anyways, my time in the airline industry, we allowed the ramp agents, the ground crew, to access their phones until it was time to go out and handle the flights.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, we got to be focused on what we're doing out there. You know, we can't put lives at risk. So we didn't play games with that. Couldn't really enforce it, you know, by taking them from them. They were just reminded not to bring them when they went outside to the flight.
All good points, Ron. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. You know what? I'm going to do when we want more Ron,
Especially
more Ron.
Yeah.
More Ron.
Has anybody ever called you a moron?
No.
Ron?
If Ron is kind of quiet and scarce, has anyone ever said to you, you know what? Moron. Moron.
That's what we need around here.
Moron.
We just don't have enough.
Only the females would say that. More, Ron.
Yeah,
more.
I bet they did, moron.
Thanks, Ron. Have a great one.
See you, moron.
It opens up a line for what we're actually talking about now. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Is there a 30 switch where everything feels different? Lois in Brooksville. Lois, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi, Lois.
Hello.
Yeah.
I remember when I turned 30 years ago, and then I didn't feel any switch. I was too busy being a mother and a wife. I loved my 30s. I can tell you that turning 60 is the pick because everything is falling all apart.
Oh, man. So no problem with the 30 switch, but you've got a 60 switch and everything's falling apart?
It is. I wish I was like a vehicle because I could put new parts in.
Well, they can do that.
I mean, yeah, it depends on the parts, but
you can go get yourself a boob job if you want, Lois. They can put some new parts in.
Great.
You have a good day.
Lois,
you, Lois.
You have a great day. Taylor in Tampa. Taylor, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi, Taylor. Welcome. Taylor, you're up. Go ahead, Taylor.
So I had my kids when I was 34 and 36,
Yep.
and I kid you not, I feel like the oldest lady ever, and I'm only 48 now.
Oh, you at 48, you feel like the oldest lady ever?
I mean, I'm not the oldest lady ever,
Well, obviously.
but I feel like it because I work and I have to be there for my kids, and I have to do it all.
any age, right? You still have to do it all.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Taylor. Whatever you do, Taylor, just it's all in your head. Everything's in your head.
Everything's all in my head.
Taylor, you having a rough time? I mean, are you able to?
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I just laugh every day about my life. I laugh every day.
How old did you say you are? You're 40.
48.
And how old are your kids?
They're 12 and 14, and they're amazing.
Gotcha.
It's not too late to put them up for adoption, is it?
Taylor,
No, not putting them up for adoption.
It's not too late, though.
I will keep them.
Taylor, do you work? It sounds like you might be on the way to work.
I actually travel every week out of town. I go to Oviedo by UCF every single week.
Gotcha. Thank you, Taylor. Have a great weekend, okay?
Would you lose a bet?
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Opens up a line, 800-990-1047. Did things change for you at 30? Manny in Tarpon on the MJ Morning Show. Hi, Manny.
Good morning. Long-time listener.
Manny, always great to have you on. I think you've called before. Go ahead.
I have. No, I think it's just for the women particularly, they have that biological clock, where things might be switching on them. But me, I'm in my 60s, and I haven't felt anything different. I actually feel like I'm 30.
Yeah, listen, I'm getting a little older, obviously, and I feel like I'm 30. I do. I am more active. I think I'm in better shape now than when I was 30, to be quite honest.
No, but he brings up a good point. Yeah. The biological clock conversation women start having around 30, where it's something maybe you don't think about in your 20s.
Yeah, well, listen, women go through menopause, which I always thought was weird because it starts with men.
Like, why isn't it womenopause?
Yeah, shouldn't men have menopause, right? Yeah, but
I'm barely hitting puberty.
Okay,
I don't know if that's the case.
Thanks, Manny. Jennifer, a couple more calls, guys. Jennifer and Valrico. Jen, you're on the MJ Morning Show. The question is, two women, a 30-year-old and a 29-year-old, saying that everything feels different at 30, or just before you turn 30, a switch goes off and everything feels different. Do you agree, yes or no, Jen?
No, I don't think things change, but people treat you differently. Once I turned 30 and I was no longer in my 20s, it was like I was now a mature adult instead of too youthful and not knowing what I was talking about.
Yeah, she's right. That was a big change for 30 with me. It was that you no longer have the excuse of being young. All this dumb crap I was doing on the radio, my dad's like, you're 30 now. You should really stop doing that. You get critiqued differently.
Jennifer, how old are you now?
I am 52 now.
Gotcha. Jennifer, thank you for listening. I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you.
Tracy, Clearwater, MJ Morning Show. Tracy, how old are you now?
I am 41.
41 years old, so you're 11 years past 30. Was there some magic switch that flicked at 29 going to 30?
Honestly, no. I mean, well, I'll say 30s were honestly the best years for me. I felt great, and I was doing my own thing. I didn't have kids till I was 38, so later on. So I really enjoyed my 30s. I mean, I guess I thought that was when I blossomed, became my own person, more, and, got to do more, things on my own and stuff. I think I grew as a person more at 30.
Was there a shift, or what happened when you turned to 40 and you're just into 40 because you're 41?
Yeah, I mean, there definitely was a shift. I just felt like, I don't know, I did change. I did, I guess because I'm a mom now too, and the age on me, I was like, I wish I would have maybe had my kids a little bit earlier, because, running around with a toddler at the age of 41, and working full time and everything else, can be exhausting, as it can be for everybody, But, I mean, I think I felt a little change at this age now, but 30s not so much as a negative thing. 30s was a good thing.
Thank you, Tracy. All right, I'm going to grab one more call. Have a great weekend, Tracy. Casey in Sarasota, I'm going to give you the final say on right before you turn 30 or at 30, everything feels different. Yes or no? Oh, I got to push the button over here.
That helps.
I guess I missed the button. Go ahead, Casey.
I mean, first of all, let's be honest here, MJ. To be on the phone live with you on a Friday morning like this, I have stage fright. People call in and just start talking like no big deal. Come on, I'm shaking out of my boots right now.
Casey, there's nothing to be shaking about. There's nothing to be nervous about. Casey, do you talk to friends and acquaintances or do you talk to people all the time?
All
the time, absolutely.
Well, look, I'm another one of those folks. That's it. Just Fester and me, we're just nothing to be afraid, nothing to be nervous about, nothing to shake about.
Well, listen, I totally get it. You guys are family. I'm 43 years young at this point. I was listening to you guys when I was 20 years young, going through ultrasound school, living off Bruceby Downs every morning.
Wow.
It was such a delight driving to work, listening to you guys. But listen, 43 years young. Listen, MJ, you said it yourself. You feel young. It's all just a number. You got to stay active. It's all part of the story. Today's the present. How are we going to enjoy it? I mean, life is life. You want to be married. You want to have children. Make it work in a healthy, positive manner. Get out there and walk with the weighted vest. Whatever.
That's what I'm doing. I'm at 20 pounds now with the weighted vest, and I'm getting used to that. So I'm going up to. I'm going to go to 30 pounds starting this weekend. I got to go get the other plates, the bigger plates to put in.
Okay.
That's what I heard. I mean, I listen every single morning, and if I can't listen live, I'm on the podcast. I already know all this. You're walking all. You're upping your plate. So I mean, it's what you put out to the universe is what you're going to get back. It's the law of attraction.
Now, Casey, do you think that the younger generation, you think the Generation Zs and the Millennials, do you think that psychologically they've become a little more warped and there's just a greater sensitivity, or people are looking to have problems more these days?
Oh, my goodness, 100%. And if people don't agree with that, I don't know. Everything's so judged and criticized down to, you put premium or unleaded in your car. You got an electric car. Who cares?
Because I've had employees, for instance, or I should say employers. I've had friends that are employers who hire in whatever business they're in. And I've heard just constantly for years now that a lot of the younger kids, the Generation Z, the late teens or the early 20s or even into the millennials, that of course there are some great people in these demographics that do a great job. They're diligent, they're focused, they care, but there seems to be a big number that don't care, and there's a blasé attitude, and that I don't know whether it was social media that did this. I'm sure it has a part, but there's a whole different it's a different drive and a different connection.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, I feel like there's just a total level of disrespect anymore, entitlement, selfishness, who's got whatever's better. I mean, we're all humans in this world. You don't know who's going through what, who's just lost who's getting to go do, you don't know. You don't know what people's stories are. But I absolutely agree that there's just a lot of hype and hip on, the social media, who's got the better picture, who's got the better body, who's got this, who's got that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I think we should all just smile, wave, bring joy to each other. They call them bucket fillers or joy suckers. I consider myself a bucket filler.
Oh, so a bucket filler or a joy sucker.
Right.
And do you find yourself avoiding the joy suckers and like writing them out of your script?
Oh, absolutely. Why would you even deal with it? Sometimes they're called well, no, I won't say that on the air. Nipple suckers, but joy suckers.
Oh my God.
All right, Casey, great to have you on. And Casey, are you nervous still, or did we calm your fears?
I feel like I'm just sitting and having breakfast with you and Fester at the local diner. I mean, we're all good now.
I was about to say.
I broke this beer.
I mean,
honestly, yeah. I mean, let's go. Fester, I think you're genius for hitting up the hotel buffets.
Thank you.
They're unbelievable. There's a place here in Sarasota, Florida called Yoder's. And
I've been there dozens of times.
Yeah, we know the Yoder's.
Yeah, we've been there dozens of times.
I haven't been there in a while, but I love Yoder's Amish restaurant.
Oh, they're unbelievable.
Right.
Everything's just so fresh.
It is.
Got to get down here.
Yep.
I'm going to go to the hotel buffet.
Casey, thanks for checking in, and thanks for being a longtime fan. I'm glad you phoned in.
Absolutely. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
For somebody so nervous to call in, she went on for a minute, boy.
Yeah, we had
She got over that pretty quickly.
We had a good relationship with the Yoders down there, and we kind of drifted a little bit.
It's
but
all right.
I got to get back. The same guy who's still
Yeah.
What was his name? Do you remember?
I don't.
But
the manager down there or the owner down there.
Is that on Fruitville? What road is that on? What on Yoder's?
It's not on. It's
Bee Ridge
Beneva?
or Beneva, whatever.
It's down there.
Anyway, Yoder's high, folks. If you're anywhere near Sarasota, stop in Yoder's. It is a great restaurant. They've got all these pies, like homemade pies. They have like specials of the week. So I highly recommend Yoder's, which is on
Bahia Vista.
Bahia Vista Street.
Yeah, Bahia Vista.
Yoder's Restaurant and Amish Village with a 4.7. You know what? That's erroneous. It's a 5.0 in my book.
Can I ever tell you what I did at Yoder's that got me side eye?
What? You started walking around at other people's table and taking their fried chicken off the plate?
No.
What?
We were friendly with the manager.
Yeah.
I went there once, had my wife with me, and he walked me to my table, and I said goodbye to him there. And then the server comes, and she says, "Oh, you must be pretty special if the manager walked you to the table." And I was like, "Well, yeah." I was like, "Not really." She goes, "Oh, how does he know you?" And I was like, "Well, I work on the radio." And then she goes, "Oh," without any emotion. I go,
right.
"You probably don't have one of those." And she gave me a look.
Oh,
like,
because
she's Amish.
Well, you assume she's Amish with
Yeah.
no technology
I
or
was like,
something? Come on.
What do you mean? I go, "Well, a radio. You don't have a radio, do you?"
I don't think that at Yoder's Amish Village and Restaurant they adhere to some of the strict Amish beliefs and customs
and
from up in the Pennsylvania Dutch country or in Ohio.
She gave me a glaring eye, and she goes, "I have a radio." I was like, "Oh, sorry, my apologies."
I got to call Michelle in a few minutes because my lovely wife, Michelle, well, I don't want her to go all Tony Soprano on me.
What's the situation?
Well, there's a situation, and when I think of this situation, I think of the Tony Soprano and the situation. All right, so I'm going to call Michelle in a second, and I want to discuss the situation. I want to know if there is going to be a need for Dr. Melfi, okay? Michelle might need to speak with some. I don't want her to go all Tony Soprano. I'll explain in a minute. Because I think there's been a change. Yeah, I think even worse than the 30s switch. Hold on, I'll get to that in a second. Speaking of restaurants, a couple of things here. I'm calling BS. Now, the picture, I believe, is real. But I believe that this is just like a setup. I think it's staged for a photo. Now, there's another item that a listener sent me that's clearly photoshopped, and I'm sure it's circulating and other people have seen it. First, though, I think this is real. I just think it's staged for a social media photo and to generate a discussion and to potentially go viral. There is a sandwich shop, and this was on a Reddit thread. So on Reddit, a restaurant, a sandwich shop, a deli, and you can see like what looks like a deli case with like the meats in the back. And a customer who wanted to roll in for a sandwich at this deli goes to pull the door, and the door's locked, and there's a handwritten sign on the door, and I can hold this up to MJTV. The white piece of paper with the black Sharpie marker reads "Closed for sex."
All right.
Oh, and then underneath there's another sign that says "Be back in 30 minutes." Closed for sex on one 8.5 by 11, and then another piece of copy machine paper or so below it that says "Be back in 30 minutes." Oh, and then "Thank you." And I'm like, come on, this is clearly to get hits and get attention. And there's some sandwich shop, and you can see if you look.
Looks more like a convenience store. See the soda wall?
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a Wawa. Or
you know what? I thought those were
racetrack.
Oh, I thought those were deli meats. Yeah. So, but it's described as a sandwich shop, and then people start commenting, "I hope this sex is not happening in the food prep area." All kinds of folks, that are, some are laughing, some are like, "Ooh, gross."
Did anybody make a salami joke? Because I would have.
Oh man, how about the gabagool? You know the shape of the gabagool, don't you? The gabagool.
She loves the gabagool.
Right. So that's story number one. Closed for 30 minutes for sex.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
What are they having conversation for 24 minutes?
Back in 30 minutes. So, and then some people are like, I've lost my appetite for a good old fashioned wiener, a ballpark.
Whoa. Hey now. She hasn't.
All right. The other, then somebody also commented, amateur, I need just 3 minutes.
Yeah, about to say 30 minutes.
Not 30.
Please.
Yeah. All right. So the other item, and I thought this was funny, but it's totally photoshopped. And I was trying to bring it up so I could hold it up to MJTV. And Fester, maybe you can do a search and find it.
All right.
I looked back at my direct messages. I thought somebody sent this to me via direct message, or if somebody can find it, go ahead and DM it to me. I'm Certified MJ Radio on Instagram. That's Certified MJ Radio. But the other thing that's circulating is what appears to be a sign on a Chipotle door at a Chipotle restaurant. And you can tell it's Photoshopped because the angles and the perspective of the actual print, the writing on the paper, and it has like a Chipotle logo, almost like Chipotle letterhead. And allegedly, this is what they want you to believe, that they posted this sign on a Chipotle location. And I'm telling you right now, just one look. I mean, I laughed. I thought it was funny, but I don't think it's real. And it looks to be Photoshopped and created. What the sign said on the Chipotle door, but not really, was something to the I try to find it again. I can't find it. That drives me nuts. When you see something, you're like, yeah, I want to talk about it. I'll go back. I'll bring it. I couldn't find it.
What does it say?
The sign said to the so-and-so Runners Club.
Yeah, don't use our bathroom.
Yeah.
And don't come buying a soda thinking you're a customer.
There it is.
Yeah, I saw this too.
Fester just found it. Okay, listen to this.
I saw it on Reddit.
Yeah. All right. So the Chipotle logo, and it reads, "Attention. Our bathrooms are for customers only.
All caps only.
If you are part of the Wednesday night running group, please do not ask to use our restroom. And don't try and order a fountain drink just to use the restroom. We know you're with the Run Club because of your dumb little outfit. Sorry for the inconvenience, management." So, we know you're with the Run Club because of your dumb little outfit.
I mean, the same way you know who's with the bicycle club, because they wear that dumb outfit.
All right, but look at the image. It looks like it's. Am I wrong?
I mean, it looks like it's manufactured.
It doesn't look like it's really hanging in the Chipotle window of their front door to me. I mean, I thought it was funny. I thought it was worth bringing up, but I don't think it's.
It looks like
real.
a meme template where it has a Chipotle logo in the picture, and you could add any text you want.
That's what it looked like.
Look at the bottom line of the paper, and the text is all straight.
Yeah, it does. The perspective, the way the words lie on the, it looks like it's Photoshopped. But I thought it was funny. Attention, our restrooms are for customers only. If you're part of the Wednesday night running group, please don't ask to use our restroom, and don't try to don't try to order a fountain drink just to use our restroom. We know you're with the Run Club because of your dumb little outfit with little runner shorts and everything.
Yeah, you know exactly what dumb outfit they're talking about.
All right, I just picked up a line and somebody's on it. Hi, good morning, MJ Morning Show. Can I help you? Yes, you're calling in. I hear you.
You just accidentally hit this line?
I did. Yeah, hello, I hear you. I hear you. You gonna breathe heavy? All right, let me just pick up another line then. All right. Oh, no. I think our phones are out.
Oh, no.
Is someone on this line? Oh, man. Our phones are dead. Hang on a minute.
They finally quit?
Oh, our phones are dead. This line works.
Okay, so we got one line.
No, the hotline works. All the other lines are dead. Yeah. All of our 800 lines are dead. Hey, Andrew, do we have to reboot this? Don't do it now. Let me try to get Michelle on the line. One of our back lines is working. Wow. All right. Let me try to call Michelle. And again, this is Tony Soprano related. And I'm a little concerned about something. I'm a little worried about Michelle because something has changed. Oh, and you know the Price is Right story is hysterical.
Yes, Your Grace.
All right, nobody gets it. Nobody gets it.
The third episode of the
watching.
Yeah, the third episode of the new season of House of the Dragon is Sunday night. That's why she is referring to me as Your Grace.
And you do it so mockingly because
Yes.
you're like the least subservient wife of all of them.
Andrew tells me the lines are working now. That's weird. All right, so Michelle, are you listening to the show?
I had just fallen back asleep.
All right, I'm a little concerned about you, and I hope this is not going to take a visit to Dr. What's that?
The alarm is getting turned off.
Oh, all right. So I hope that this is not going to warrant a trip to go see Dr. Melfi. But I'm equating you. I hope this doesn't turn into a Tony Soprano-like meltdown, a crisis, an existential mental.
No, sounds like you're hoping it's not going to turn into a DV situation.
Whoa, hey, you just can't throw those
hold
threats
on.
around.
Whoa. Do you have any idea where I'm going with this?
No.
So, hold on. Why would you say you're hoping it doesn't turn into a DV situation?
Usually, when you start qualifying something you're about to tell me with this kind of stuff, it's something that's going to make me angry.
But wait a minute. We've just celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary on Wednesday night. 30th wedding.
Bring something on me?
No. So 30 years, we have never had a DV or domestic violence situation ever
reported
in our 30 years of marriage.
Reported or filed.
No.
Charges never pending.
Right. Police have never showed up at our house.
Never.
No.
They were never called.
Seriously, Michelle, have I ever put my hands on
Although
you?
you do walk around the house like people that we observe on cops getting arrested on a regular basis.
All right, Michelle.
Just to be clear. What?
Well, because I'm walking around with no shirt on. Is that it?
Shirtless, shoeless, sockless.
How great would that
shorts
be?
Only.
Michelle, how great would that be if somebody if the cops showed up at your house and they're talking to MJ in the driveway and somebody gets a picture of him just standing there in like shorts
with no shirt,
getting questioned by the popo.
Oh my God,
Michelle! Before I proceed, have I ever put my hands on you in 30 years of marriage?
You put your hands on me all the time.
Oh God! Oh, Michelle, I just ate.
All right. Yes, in that way, not the cops episode way. All right. All right. So listen, I am concerned.
Go ahead. Proceed.
I think of Tony Soprano. What in The Sopranos? What was one of the storylines where Tony had a mental breakdown?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, what?
With the Ducks. And remember the Ducks and the Ducks left?
Yeah.
Well, I'm concerned, Michelle, because Michelle has been like Tony Soprano with the ducks in the backyard in the pool for the last 45 days because we had the Cooper's hawk nest right in a palm tree in our front yard. And Michelle has been watching them with binoculars and following them. And Michelle's out in the yard going, trying to communicate. And Michelle, you watch the mother and the father, and then you think what? It was three little baby Cooper's hawks, right?
The Three Musketeers.
And now they're gone, right? I haven't seen them at all.
I haven't seen them in a couple of days, but they would fly around. They then, ventured into our backyard, and you have to look all around the bushes to make sure they're not out there before you let the dogs out, and and then they would fly around like.
This has been the greatest source of entertainment for Michelle in years.
Fascinating.
Watching seriously, the Cooper's hawks, the little babies. Remember one got out of the nest, and we found on our front fence. and then we tried to see what was going on. I thought it was a sick bird, but it was a juvenile, and it flew low across the street and was going to stay ground level all night. And then we found out that it would be absolute, like dead bird walking, that a cat, a raccoon, some kind of predator would maybe kill it during the night. So I went across the street to our neighbor's house with a towel, and I grabbed it, and I wrapped up this little baby Cooper's hawk. I brought it home, put it on our upstairs front balcony.
Oh, you're really invested in these birds.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm very invested.
Michelle was spending hours a day for the last, 45 days watching these birds, and I see one up the two. Oh, all three are up in the tree. And Michelle's been watching them leave the nest and then, learn to fly and move from tree to tree, and now they're gone.
We haven't seen them in a couple of days. Sometimes I still hear them. If I go outside, I would hear them. But the problem now is that they're flying higher and higher as they learn how to fly, and they're getting stronger and stronger. So then I can't see them so easily.
Yeah, the bird watching club understands your plight because they're birds.
Anyway, Michelle has been Michelle has been like Tony Soprano with these Cooper's hawks.
Yeah, where'd the hawks go?
Yeah.
All right, Michelle.
Well, I learned how to track them. The first thing you look for is their poop.
All right, sweetie. All right, I'll see you soon, and I'm looking forward to a nice, relaxing weekend with you.
All right, hurry up.
Michelle, hold on, Michelle. You can't put out like a bird feeder for them, can you? You can't put like chopped up dead mice or anything.
No.
They eat they eat like rodents and stuff.
Yeah.
And they
But you got to let them learn how to hunt. You don't want to put food.
You know what?
Yeah.
You could put a bird feeder out, but this is the thing. If you put the bird feeder out, and I've read about this.
Oh, it attracts other birds, and then they go in and they attack the other birds and eat them.
Oh, why don't you do that?
And there's on YouTube, I looked it up. There's videos of people who have bird feeders, and they filmed it, and they could film the hawk flying in and grabbing the other bird and flying away.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Why don't you feed them a nice finch or something?
We could shoot our
No, because we have these cardinals that were hanging around the backyard, and I don't want that to happen to them.
Cardinals are delicious, I hear. I haven't had one personally.
Oh, thanks.
From what I hear. Birds love them.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We can shoot National Geographic videos.
No thanks.
Yeah, how does that music go? The National
Boom. It's like a big
right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tony. Let me know if you need me to book an appointment with Dr. Melfi with you, okay?
All right.
All right, bye, sweetie. All right. Hey, the Price is Right deal. Holy. Hey, all wigged up on psychedelic mushrooms. Come on down. Mister, your breath reeks of alcohol. Come on down. Just did a couple of lines of coke in the parking lot while in line. Come on down. Oh, Mr. Reeks like weed. Come on down. You're the first 4 contestants on The Drug is Right. Oh, this is funny as hell. Oh, you found the you got it? Oh yeah, here's the National Geographic. Here we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's the music. Can you start from the beginning again? Was there drums in the beginning? Oh, it's like the beef. It's what's for dinner sound. Oh yeah. All right. Anyway, where was I? Oh, Price is Right. This is hysterical. Drew Carey, and I'm not a real Drew Carey fan.
Unfortunately,
I don't dislike him. I don't hate the guy. I just don't like him as the host of The Price is Right.
He does a good job. He does it differently than Bob Barker, but he's different. And he's been doing it a long time now.
A ridiculously long time. I mean, it's, Bob Barker made such an indelible mark as the host of The Price is Right that you can't replace the guy. So anyone...
Are you going to end the show?
Well...
Have an AI bot of Bob Barker?
You know what? That wouldn't be a bad idea.
I'm full of good ideas.
I don't think Drew Carey... Like Michelle and I, I'll get home from the morning show, and if I'm not doing something and we're flipping around channels, we've landed on The Price is Right. It comes on at 11 a.m., and sometimes I'm home at 11. And Michelle and I are like, you know what? It's just not the same. And we watched. It was early this week. We watched, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of The Price is Right. And Michelle and I are both having conversations. It's like, man, he's awful at this. It's just terrible.
He's just different. He's more low-key.
Anyway, I don't dislike Drew Carey. I just don't like him as the host for The Price is Right. But I read an interview that Drew Carey did with TV Insider. And it came up during the interview that he said it's not unusual for contestants to use liquid courage and more to compete on the show. So during this little interview that Drew Carey did with TV Insider, he said, yeah, it happens all the time here. He says they'll have a marijuana gummy or I'll smell alcohol on their breath. Drew Carey even recalled that one contestant that was chosen from the audience was tripping on mushrooms.
Wow. That's great.
Oh, man. He came with a bunch of friends. He was a sketch comedy guy. I found out later when I went to a comedy theater group to hang out, and it was like, hey, did you see that guy who claimed to be a skateboarding rabbi? And Carey said to them, and he said, I asked what he did for a living, and he goes, I'm a skateboarding rabbi. He didn't think he was going to get picked, but the guy was totally tripping. And I don't, was that skateboarding rabbi? Was that part of being on shrooms?
It's the only thing you can think of.
Anyway, I just thought that was hysterical that Drew Carey, he'll be up on stage. They win the initial round, the item up for bids and the 4 contestants. And, to get up on stage to play, you got to come closest to the retail price. And $1, Drew. And, here the person gets up on stage and, they're about to do the big reveal, whether you're going to play, the Plinko or the shell game or whatever the heck it is.
Win a new car.
Yeah, exactly. And, they're standing next to Drew Carey and they reek of freaking alcohol. That's pretty fun. I thought that was pretty funny, actually. Drinking and drugged up contestants on The Price is Right. And you were there.
Yeah. Well, we went back in the Bob Barker, Rod Roddy days.
I can't believe that you didn't get called. I would think that, a heavier, jolly guy. I thought you'd be a shoo-in. And this was
I had no chance.
That was your honeymoon, right?
It was our honeymoon. I pulled out a globe and I said, honey, we can go anywhere you want in the world for our honeymoon. Just put your finger on it. And she put her finger on Los Angeles, California. And we went to Hollywood. And we went to the Price is Right show. And I had no chance because they do a quick little, meet and greet talk interview with you in groups.
Yeah, so when you're out in line, then a producer will come out and
at 10 at a time.
10 people that just kind of get a feel for who might be a good contestant.
Yes.
And what happened when you were in line?
I was laying it on and I'm Mr. Personality and the guy's loving me. And the guy right next to me was a World War II veteran.
Oh,
and he had
man.
and he gets picked.
He got picked, right?
And you picked the World War II guy.
Did he have the whole World War II veteran hat on and everything?
Hat, the boat that he served on,
listen,
all that stuff.
I thank him for his service. He's probably not around with us any longer, but listen, greatest generation.
And he gets picked, and my wife's like, that's the guy. I'm like, who? The guy that was next to you. I'm like, curses.
By any chance, did he win?
A new car!
I don't think he made it. He didn't make it up. He got to the front front booth, but he didn't get called.
Did he grab the wheel and get sucked in and spinning around? And
that old vet would have pulled it off its hinge.
Lacerations anyway. So you're one shot to get on The Price is Right, and you got upstaged by a World War II veteran.
Have you ever seen that documentary about the guy who got picked a bunch of times, or went to The Price is Right 1,000 times?
And he kept getting picked?
No, he learned all the prices, and he was in on the. They thought he was in on the price fixing scam. There's a documentary out there.
Really?
And Drew Carey has nothing to do with it, but they pulled interview excerpts of him talking about it. But this one guy went to 200 different shows, and then he learned all the prices to where he figured out how to beat the system.
Guess who I have an update on?
Who?
I have an update on
Hawk Tuin.
Yeah, the Hawk Tua girl. Yep.
Hawk Tuin.
Yeah.
The girl of summer.
One move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time.
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuin. Spit on that thing. You get me? Hawk Tuin.
All right. The meme of summer is the
Hawk Tuin.
girl. Guess how much money she has sold in merch so far?
Okay, that has been sold or she has made?
Apparently she's selling, but she's getting ripped off everywhere. So
Yeah.
there are other people selling her image and all kinds of Hawk Tua. And what was it? It was from some kind of man someone shooting YouTube videos and asking people questions on the street.
Yeah.
And then putting videos together.
That's funny stuff. I mean, guys are out in the street just asking weird questions to fun people in party towns. And he approaches some pretty girls in, I think, Nashville. And it's a whole interview. I mean, there's like a 4 or 5 minute clip of their whole interaction.
Well, and that's where the Hawk Tua comes from.
He asked the question, what's the one move that drives a man
Yeah,
crazy?
well, you heard it right here. The question again is...
One move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time.
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuin. Spit on that thing. You get me?
I mean, if you watch the whole interaction, she said a couple of things that are hysterical.
Right.
Nothing stands out like Hawk Tua.
Yeah, well, that's obviously what everyone gripped onto. And, well, she has already sold $65,000 worth of merchandise.
Not enough.
This is stuff that she's selling, and clearly there are tons of other online marketplaces that have just ripped off her image from the video, and they're selling it without her authorization. But she herself, Haley Welch, the Hawk Tua viral girl, has sold more than $65,000 worth of merchandise. Yep.
She's a good egg.
Yep. So thought that was interesting.
I hope she makes millions of dollars because her life has changed forever.
Yeah, I think the guy that did the video is also selling Hawk Tua stuff as well.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, every little online quick print T-shirt place has
You
it.
can't control. I mean, is she going to try to file for a federal trademark for Hawk Tua?
I'd like to see that go in front of the patent office.
The Hawk Tua girl.
Yes, next up.
Oh, my God. Hey, this is right up your alley, Fester. I've been waiting all day to get your take on this.
Just for the record, Hawk Tours are up my alley, too. All right, I'm just saying, it's up my alley. Not against it. Not against it.
Yeah, don't tell Stacy and Largo that.
Hawk Tuin.
All right. All right. Now, do you know what item I've been waiting all day for you to comment on? Come on. There's this one story out today that is made for Fester.
Which one?
A sleeping couple in their camper
Oh, dude, I felt so bad for these folks.
gets camper jacked. Someone hooks up to their camper while they're sleeping and tries to steal it while they're inside sleeping.
That's awful.
Oh, my God. This bumbling moron of a thief out in Colorado carjacked this couple and their camper. I'm trying to figure out, I read like a couple of different stories. Did the bad guy carjack a pickup truck that was towing the trailer, or was the trailer already detached and the crook attached his truck and yanked them away while they were sleeping?
I saw a couple of photos, and it looked like a truck camper, the kind that go into the truck bed, where you have a pickup truck and the big white box that goes into your truck bed, and you see people out west. You know, it's a truck camper.
Dude, you sell RVs.
Yeah,
Can you be a little more descriptive, please?
It's called a truck camper. It goes into the bed of your truck.
Oh, you mean the shell?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the whole camper sits on top of...
The shell is not what it's called.
Right.
It's called a truck camper.
But the whole thing like rests in your pickup truck
So
bed.
they were in the bed of their truck, in their truck camper, and you're not supposed to feel anything rock around. You'd know if your car got jostled because you're right in it.
All right, hang on. This is a story from KDVR, which I think is Fox in Denver. A couple sleeping in a camper in Boulder were awakened after they felt the vehicle rolling. They realized that while they slept, somebody had stolen the truck attached to the camper, taking the car, camper, and couple along for a ride.
Yeah, it's essentially as the truck is on the road, they're in their camper bouncing around.
The Boulder Police Department tweeted about the incident. which took place earlier this month. The night started with a man, a woman, and their dog sleeping in a friend's camper parked outside her apartment. In the middle of the night, someone broke into the pickup truck attached to the camper and drove away. Can you imagine you're sleeping and then suddenly we're moving?
So
we're on the move.
The guy gets arrested.
Yeah.
Here's the police footage, MJ.
Yeah, is there? Can I play it?
And body cams on YouTube by Fox 31 in Denver.
Yeah, is there any audio on this?
There is text, so I imagine there's audio.
All right, go. All right, roll back to the beginning.
There we go.
I'll have my finger on the dump button. All right, go ahead, hit play.
What seems to be the problem? Can you please tell me?
The truck that you just took had the owners in the back.
I didn't take it, sir.
Really? So you weren't just driving it? At 3 in the...
Say it to the police.
See?
You open up.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
It's a Lance camper.
Out
comes the people.
Are you guys okay? Yes. Okay.
So they must have called 911 from the road.
Hey, we're sleeping in a camper in the back of a pickup truck, and we're moving now. We're doing about 50 miles an hour.
You can look out the window and give the police locations.
All right, and I see the video.
So it's a truck camper.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a
Right.
travel trailer.
Right. I thought the guy just hooked up to it and then dragged the trailer away. So again, you have a pickup truck, and the whole camper sets into the bed, and then you have like that overhang that goes over the cab of the pickup truck.
That's usually where the bed is.
Right.
But man,
are those things safe?
I mean,
how do they tie down?
They ratchet in.
They do. All
yeah,
right.
it's secure.
Does that make the pickup truck all like the center of gravity all off? Is that like a tipping hazard?
You have to have the right.
Do you sell those?
No, but you have to have the right payload.
Hold on, at General RV, you don't sell those?
I don't carry them, but they're popular. If you want them, they're very specific. But you see the poles on the side; they have lift legs to get off the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And then they ratchet in and chain in.
I just thought that was hysterical.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, these poor people.
3 o'clock in the morning, you're sleeping in a parking lot of some condo complex at a friend's place, and someone carjacks your pickup truck, and next thing you know, hey, we're moving.
What seems to be the problem, officer?
You call 911? Hey, we're in a camper. We're driving down the road. Someone carjacked us. Camper jacked. I just thought that was pretty funny.
It's a nice camper, man.
Don't shoot at drones in the sky.
Why not?
Really? Really?
I mean, it depends where I am, but listen. I mean, if I'm in my neighborhood, I don't want to shoot a bullet in my neighborhood.
Well, this is up in Lake County right here. Of course, this is a Florida story.
The bullet probably landed in the water.
Yeah, a Florida guy accused of shooting at a Walmart delivery drone. Trying to take that sucker.
I have a feeling that I'm going to hate this drone culture.
Yeah. Anyway, a guy was arrested earlier this week in Lake County, and he's accused of causing thousands of dollars in damage to a drone that he shot at the drone as the drone was attempting to make a delivery for Walmart. Are they really using these drones now?
Yeah, we had a couple of months ago. The pilot programs are rolling out.
No, I know that we've talked about it, and I thought it was still more hypothetical.
We talked about the pilot program starting in certain areas.
All right, well, I guess they're up in Lake County. I guess they're doing it. Dennis Wynn, 72, is in trouble, facing charges of throwing a deadly missile into dwellings, vessels, or vehicles, criminal mischief above $1,000, discharging a firearm in public or on residential property. Yeah, this guy fired a gun at a Walmart delivery drone. Yeah, so Walmart did announce a couple of years ago that they were rolling out some drone deliveries in parts of the country. I guess Florida was one of them, via a company called Drone Up, which is a Virginia-based company, and they partnered with Walmart. And here you have this arrest affidavit. According to the documentation, a 2-man Drone Up crew was at a delivery point in the overlook at Lake
Louisa
in that neighborhood.
In Claremont.
When the shooting occurred, the document noted that the crew was there campaigning for Drone Up, which in this case was to include a proof of concept mock delivery to their location. The drone was up at 230 feet in the air, descending to around 75 feet, when one of the crew members heard what they thought was a gunshot. It was a gunshot. This guy's firing a gun at the Walmart drone.
So it sounds like they were just testing it for like proof of concept and just trying to get familiar with it.
Both of the crew and the drone raced back to the Walmart on US 27 in, I guess, Claremont, where deputies responded after the crew members reportedly found a bullet hole in the drone's payload system. So the drone, and then underneath you have the I guess the
box,
the payload
holder.
Yeah. And there's a bullet hole in the damn thing because Mr. Wynn fired a shot at the damn thing. So a deputy goes back to the neighborhood, then makes contact with the guy, asking him if he had any incident with a drone. And he then said he used a 9mm handgun to shoot a drone that flew over his house as he was working on his pool pump. I know I always have a 9mm handy right next to me while I'm working on my pool pump in my yard.
This is Florida. He's not the only one.
Yeah. And he recounted some past experiences where he thought that the drones were surveilling him. They were watching him. Yeah. So Wynn allegedly yelled out to a neighbor that he was going to jail for shooting a drone. So he's waiting for the cops to load him up, and he yells at a neighbor, "Hey, I'm going to jail for shooting a drone." That's a confession, isn't it?
I mean,
sounds like it.
After Miranda's been read, yeah, I guess it is.
He apparently caused $2,500 in damage to the drone. Yeah, don't shoot at a drone. He was released yesterday from the jail. Posted a $13,500 bond for shooting at a Walmart drone up in Lake County, Claremont area.
I'm not that mad at the guy.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, when we get back, we got an hour to go almost. I've got Asia tickets. You want to go see Asia? It's the Heat of the Moment tour, and we have your tickets at the Hard Rock Event Center coming up on July 22nd. So heads up. Got your Asia tickets in just a few minutes here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. And we got a lot of stuff to cram into the final hour as well. If you're looking for a Ford car or truck, did I mention this is the end of... classy, San Diego. Ron Burgundy,
Yeah,
right?
a little Ron Burgundy.
Yeah. Stay classy, Tampa Bay. That's MJ, not Ron Burgundy.
Doesn't quite hit the same.
No, it doesn't. No. Stay classy, Middle America. Listen to this. That's what comes to mind. There is a Google Maps image that has shown up online, and apparently this is outside of the Junkyard Bar and Grill in Barnum, Iowa.
All right.
The woman apparently inside the bar and grill, inside the restaurant, saw the Google Street Maps car coming around. Runs out and lifts up her shirt and flashes the Google vehicle as it's passing by.
That's awesome.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. These cars are so ridiculous.
There's a Google Maps image of the woman flashing her bare breasts. This is outside of a bar in Iowa. It's gone viral now. And now Google Maps has, I guess, extra pixelated the image. I don't know if it was originally pixelated. You know what they do?
They pixelate faces.
Well, they blur. They put that blur. And do they have a computer that does? I mean, it's got to be tedious for a human. No, it must be AI. Or
it has to be.
Yeah, it has. So if you go to Google Maps and then you do the street view and you drag the little yellow man onto the road at the blue lines, and then you can see the street view. And you've seen the cars. I've seen them numerous times.
But they also blur license plates.
Yeah, they'll blur license plates. They'll even blur, it's weird. You'll see some things that are blurred and you're like, why the heck is that blurred? But here comes the Google car, and it's kind of a normal car, but then you'll see this almost like this lunar landing craft looking device up on top.
A bunch of antennas.
Yeah, and straps and everything. And that's the Google car that drives around and snaps photos, and that's how they build the Google Street View. And here this woman runs out of the Junkyard Bar and Grill in Barnum, Iowa, and this woman runs out, lifts up her shirt, and flashes her breasts to the Google car. And now it's still up, but it's been pixelated.
Good for her.
Which leads me to believe that maybe her face was blurred, but previously you could see her bare breasts being flashed.
I don't know. Where's that picture? That's got to be somewhere online.
You know, Michelle, and I think on Google, when you go to Google Satellite, and I don't know about Google Street View, but on the Google Satellite, there's a little slider. And there's a box that you can open up if you're looking at don't go to Google Earth. Why you go to Google Earth? No.
Oh, you're talking about like maps?
No, yeah,
satellite maps. Okay.
Just when you go to like maps on Google,
right?
I don't know if it's available on the mobile version or if it's available only on a desktop, but you can select the image you want, and you can pick the most current satellite image on Google Maps, or you can, I want to say, move a little slider is what I've seen in the past, and you can select like the satellite image from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever increments they used to take the overhead satellite image, you can go back pretty far and see. And in fact, on Google, this now not Google satellite images, but on Google Street View, and I got to see if I can go back and take a look. Like right there. See, Fester?
Yes.
Right there. You're in our parking lot.
Yes.
So Fester is in the parking lot of our radio complex right here in St. Petersburg, off of 4th Street. And if you look at the very top in the black box of the street view while you're in our parking lot on Google, it says St. Petersburg, Florida, Google Street View, July 2022. But then look right there. You can click on See More Dates. So I guess it is available on Street View as well. So you can click on that.
And here's November 2018.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bunch of them. August 2019, November 2018. So on satellite as well as on Street View, you can select different dates. And in fact, I got to go back and see when it was. But this is great. Michelle is on one of the Google Street Views when they came through our neighborhood like years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Was she doing something silly like picking her nose or
No,
something?
no. So Michelle was in the front yard talking to a former babysitter of the kids who stopped by to say hi, and I think Michelle was walking her out, and they were having a conversation right on our front walkway, and the Google Street View cars coming around, and Michelle could be seen talking to the former babysitter, and I think it was like 2015 or 2014, and this babysitter had babysat for us back in, I don't know, like when the kids were like 6, 7, 8 years old.
Here's Pat George's truck.
Yeah. Yeah. Fester's looking at, when is that from? That's from
July 22.
July of 22, so 2 years ago. Yeah, this Pat George's truck is our traffic guy sitting right in his typical spot.
And there's Andrew's truck right there.
Yeah.
Hey, like you guys work here.
Hey, how classy is that? Woman races out of the bar to lift up her shirt and expose her breasts to the Google Street View car coming down.
If I knew where the Google Street car would be, I'd moon it.
Hey, don't freak out on this. Oh, boy. So today is supposed to be the busiest travel day ever. No, MJ, you're wrong. No, it was last Sunday. No, I'm not wrong. Last Sunday was allegedly the busiest travel day ever. And now this Friday today, now they're saying that this is going to be the new busiest travel day ever. So if you happen to be getting on a plane, don't freak out if there's a little bit of duct tape or electrical tape or some kind of tape that appears to be holding your window together.
The window?
Yeah. It's not the real window. See, people freak out when you're sitting in your window seat on an airplane and you got the plastic shade that you can move up and down, and you have, the oval or, rectangular, somewhat shaped window on the airplane.
With that little hole at the bottom?
Yeah. What the heck?
Did you hit the phone?
I didn't touch a thing.
So we got
I'm nowhere near the phone.
We got a report, MJ. Remember we had the lightning earlier?
Yeah.
That the station went out a couple times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got a couple of people contact us that said that
we were off the air?
Dropped for a couple of seconds.
All right. Well, hopefully we're back on. So, yeah, I'm telling you, they better hurry and build our new studios because we're having all kinds of little electrical things that are shutting on and off. Fester's mic has been going on and off. This studio is going to crash, and I just hope that before this thing just completely expires, that they have our new studio, built.
Nah.
So back over to the airplane thing. This passenger freaked out. This passenger took a picture of a Delta Airlines window that she was on one of their airplanes, and it looks like there's like a black electrical tape or a black gaffer's tape or a duct tape that's around the windowsill. And the flight attendant had to say, listen, calm down. There's nothing wrong. The window's not going to blow out. When you're in your seat on an airplane and you have the window shade and like you can tap on it and it's like that plastic window, that is not the window to the airplane. If that was completely gone, there'd be no issue. That is just like a vapor barrier or an area. The actual window is, if you look, you'll see that there's a space, there's a gap, an airspace between that little plasticky window, which does nothing, for the structure of the aircraft. And you have that gap, and then you have the outside, the actual glass and the riveted in escutcheon or on the outside of the airplane. That's the window of the plane. So this woman gets all freaked out, calls the flight attendant over. Oh my God, there's tape holding my window together. And this woman, Laura Lou, on a Delta Airlines flight, freaks out. And the flight attendant has to say, listen, calm down. Your airplane window is not taped together. It's really cosmetic.
Yeah.
The inside, plastic window and escutcheon it's just cosmetic. You have an inner pane, which a lot of times is this plastic material. Then you have ventilation holes and there's this airspace. Then you have an outer seal, then an inner. I mean, you have a whole structure. So don't freak out. Now, I will say this, that Delta Airlines, which is my airline of choice, I like Delta, but Delta has among the oldest of domestic fleets. And some of the aircraft are looking pretty ratty. I'll be honest. Delta's my first choice, but some of their aircraft are really old and kind of falling apart, and they're kind of ratty. And, Delta is in a fleet modernization right now, but don't freak out if there's some tape holding, a plastic piece together. Does it look like crap? Yeah. Is it a structural or safety problem? No. Does Delta need to modernize the fleet? Yeah. You know what they've done is they've kept a lot of planes flying, and it's not uncommon. I was recently on a Boeing 757
right
to Atlanta, and then I flew Atlanta to Kansas City, and I had 757s the whole way. Some of the planes were 30 and 32 years old.
And they run these planes.
Yeah. Yeah. And those things are paid for. Those things are just, those are, cash cows. But some of the older planes, Delta will have a 20, 25-year-old airplane, and they'll redo the cabin. So they'll redo the bins, they'll redo the seats. But still, Delta does need to get rid of a lot of the old stinkers and just, modernize the fleet. I fully agree with this. All right, I want to run something by you, Fester, run this by the audience. I want to grab a couple of calls on this, actually. Is this like begging and pandering? When I tell you the details here, I want to know if this seems like it was natural, organic, or if this is a dude that knew exactly what he was doing, kind of begging for some action or begging for somebody to, potentially expose the story. Here's what happened. An Uber Eats delivery driver included a note with a food delivery, which happened to come from Chipotle. And this now has been picked up by the recipient of the Chipotle order after the driver, the delivery dude, left a note. So did this guy know exactly what he was doing? Was he hoping for something to go viral, or was he just putting notes in to maybe get an extra tip? And you think this is right? Is it wrong? Here's what happened. An Uber Eats driver was delivering food as a little side hustle for about a year and a half, and was doing that to raise money to save funds in order to give his soon-to-be wife the wedding of her dreams. So working this extra Uber Eats gig and just trying to stockpile all this money.
Save a little cash.
Well, the dude's name is Paul Slobodzian.
Okay.
Paul, it starts with slob. It's Slobodzian, right? Slobodzian. Paul Slobodzian.
That's a tough name to marry into.
Sounds French to me. What do you think? All right, so she's going to be Mrs. Slobodzian.
Mrs. Slob.
Or Mrs. Slob for short. So Paul has now hit it big on social media because he dropped off a Chipotle order to Erica Hernandez last week in Phoenix, Arizona is where he lives. And along with the food, this driver put in a little handwritten note.
All right, sweet.
In the delivery. So here's what he did. This guy, is he scheming? Is he gaming? Did he know exactly what he was doing? So he puts in a handwritten, why am I so skeptical? Why am I so doubtful of humanity? All right, so he puts in a note, which Hernandez, the recipient of the Chipotle order, spots, and it encourages her to tip for the driver's upcoming nuptials.
What does the note say?
Thank you for your order. I'm driving on the side to give my fiance the wedding she deserves. That was the note that was with her Chipotle order.
Okay. And
The fiance is Allie Perkins. That's her name. So it's Allie. So it's what? Paul and Allie. Oh, what a lovely couple. So what do you think about this guy? Was this like a pandering deal?
Then he put his Venmo on there.
Yeah. So the Venmo's on the note. It's a little like a little index card, handwritten. Thank you for your order. I'm
driving for love on the side. He has a little heart sticker.
Yeah. To give my fiance the wedding she deserves. Any additional tip through the app or Venmo is greatly appreciated. Then he gives his Venmo at P. Slabodzian, his Venmo account. And, well, I guess this Hernandez lady, Erica Hernandez, she fell for this deal, hook, line, and sinker.
What'd you give him, an extra couple of bucks? Help him go viral?
She posts the whole story on social media, so the whole thing goes viral. And now, essentially, the entire wedding's going to be paid for by the internet.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but
listen, everybody's struggling to make their way. Big deal.
Yeah. You got a problem with this, yes or no? No problem?
Because, this kid, if he puts it in every one of his orders, the vast majority just throw it away. They don't even think about it.
So the clip went viral, and tons of folks are chipping in. Paul says that his phone hasn't been quiet, hasn't stopped ringing since last Friday. Thousands of messages of support. He said, I never set out to leave those notes with the intention of somebody making a video and it going viral online. And I don't see like a total. He's not revealing at this point how much money, but I'm sure the money that he's going to raise is going to far exceed the cost of the wedding. So the question is, are you going to donate it to a very deserving charity, Paul?
Yeah, he's going to donate to his Let's Buy a House fund after the wedding. Good for him.
So there you go. Is this Paul's audio?
This is Paul. He's thanking everybody. He has
you know what? Cue that up. We'll play it when we get back.
Okay.
I cue that up, and I want to grab some phone calls on this. Anyone think that this was not premeditated and planned, or you think this is 100% organic and natural? What do you think about somebody, slipping you a little note, kind of, jamming for some extra tips with a, whole wedding story? What do you think? Yeah, if you want to jump on, we're going to go right back to our segment in a minute. If you want to weigh in on this, 800-990-1047. What do you think of this guy's tactic? You believe it was organic and natural, or you think this was exactly what this guy wanted? I'm trying to, play the, I can't give my fiance the wedding she deserves.
That's not what he said. He goes, I'm working so I can provide the wedding. Any additional tip would be appreciated.
I'm a little skeptical.
I kind of like knowing what they're going to use the tip for.
What do you think? 800-990-1047, 800-990-1047 if you want to weigh in. And Fester found the video of this guy speaking. So we'll listen to that in just a minute when we get back. If you have a roofing issue that needs to be cured. That is 9:28 at the MJ Morning Show. Oh, make that 9:40 now at the MJ. I'm sorry, 9:30. What the hell? What the hell am I?
You're way off.
Am I ready for the weekend or what? All right, it's
a couple seconds before 9:30.
It's almost 9:30. All right, it's actually 9:29. I got it all wrong. All right, 9:29 at the MJ Morning Show, final segment. And, yep, I haven't given away the Asia tickets yet. It is the Asia Heat of the Moment tour. You know what? Chloe's like, Dad, I want to go see that. Chloe is 22 years old and wants a little dun, 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 dun.
We got a couple of good songs.
Dun, 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 dun. As I go, I never meant to be so, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Chloe, my daughter, wants to go see Asia. We have tickets to see Asia on Monday, July 22nd. We'll be at the Hard Rock at the Event Center, and we have tickets. We'll give those away in just a couple of minutes. What line am I taking, Andrew? Andrew, before I even take like these wedding calls,
is it line 1?
Andrew wants me to take line 1. Steve, hi, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Welcome.
First of all, I want to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. It's Charles, right?
Yes.
All right. Andrew said it's Charles, not Steve. Go ahead, Charles.
So I discovered your show about an hour ago, maybe actually 2 hours ago. I went to YouTube and I just clicked on live podcast, and I said, you know what? Click you on. I'm fascinated by your creativity. I don't know. I'm a fan of yours. I really like your show.
Well, hold on. You've been a fan for 2 hours?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm bored. I clicked on YouTube live shows. 10 podcasts showed up. You showed up. I'm listening to you. I'm like, yeah. But no, I'm enthralled. You're holding my attention. So that's a great thing.
Wow. All right. So, I'm sorry. Is it Charles or Steve? I forgot.
It's Charles.
All right.
And you're calling
Charles.
from Indiana.
Yeah. All right. So, Charles, where in Indiana are you?
I live in Evansville. I'm a big fan of Alicia Giordano. You don't know who that is. I follow a lot of podcasters online.
Right.
And I love live podcasters. I'm just a fan of what you're doing right now.
Wow. Well, listen, we're a daily radio show. We have a 30-year history. Do you know where we're based?
You know what? Like I said, I discovered you about 2 hours ago, so I don't.
So we're in Tampa Bay. It's the MJ Morning Show. Yeah, we're the MJ Morning Show, and we're on a radio station called Q105 in Tampa Bay. We're on 104.7 FM. We're on regular traditional FM radio. We stream on all the apps. And, of course, you found us with our video feed because we have cameras in the studio here on MJ TV. On YouTube is what you're watching us on. And, you know, we're down half the show. It's me, MJ. I've got Fester. We have Roxanne, who is on vacation in Italy right now. So typically you would see Roxanne in the studio.
Yeah.
And then we have Froggy as well. And so half the show is not even here. So if you like it now, when the whole ensemble is here, well, maybe you'll like it less. But
I mean, who knows?
Who knows? But listen, I really appreciate you checking in. It's always great to hear that you randomly just found us on YouTube and you're enthralled by our little radio dumpster fire.
Can I give you a compliment?
Yeah,
another one.
Go ahead.
Well, no. First of all, I'm a fan. I'm going to start watching you guys. I don't know your history. I don't know where you guys came from, but I enjoy your program. You look super, super young. You remember that movie with Tom Cruise, Jerry Maguire? What was it called?
Jerry Maguire?
Yeah. You remind me of that kid that said, "You've got the biggest head I've ever seen."
Wait.
Yeah, that little, the kid in Jerry Maguire?
Right.
Right. Remember, and he said, "Do you know how large or big, how much the human head weighs?"
Yeah, like 12 pounds or something, right?
Okay, yeah, you've got a young, youthful look to you, and the guy with wearing the Nike hat.
Yeah, that's Fester.
Yeah.
Does he have a fat look to him?
You know what? I'm a big fan of yours. I've been watching Elisa Duranna for the last couple of years or so. I'm obsessed with you guys. You put on a great show.
Well, so you think I look young?
No. He's saying
absolutely, dude. Honestly.
All right, how old? Listen, watching me on YouTube TV right now, how old do you think I am?
Looking at you, okay, you've got a very weird human face. You look young.
He does.
Obviously, you know what? I think you're probably in your 50s, but you look like you're in your 20s.
I am 58.
Yeah, but you look young.
All right,
wow.
listen.
Has anybody ever said you've got a young-looking face, a youthful-looking face?
You know, I'll tell you what people say is I don't shave a lot. I hate shaving, and I usually scruff it out. I usually let my beard grow for about 10 days or maybe 2 weeks, and then I grab some wall clippers. Or what do I'm using Panasonic clippers now, and I just use a clipper on my face. I hate using like a razor or a regular like Norelco, taking it down to bare skin. So I always use just a little shaver, and it leaves a little bit of stubble. But people say that when I do appear to be more clean shaven or less scruff, that I look a lot younger as well.
Can I give you a pointer?
Yeah, please.
Shave, wear a crisp shirt, a tie. You're going to come across looking youthful, vibrant.
Wait a minute, wait, Charles. You want me to wear a tie? We're a kook bag dumpster fire morning show. You want me to wear a tie?
You've got a good look. Listen, I'm not gay, but you have a nice looking face.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're not?
By the way, I'm married, and we just celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary on Wednesday.
That's not to say there's not a chance.
Am I missing something? You've got to listen. Let's go to the next subject.
Well, are you calling me Benjamin Button or something?
Let me ask you a question. How tall are you?
I am not tall. I'm 5'6".
Oh dear Lord.
My wife is 5'9" or 5'8.5". Hold on. What say that? Why are you dear lording me on my height?
Let's just go to the next subject.
Wait a minute. This could be the best phone call of the week.
Masculine man, you're a good-looking guy.
Yes.
Wait, why? When I said I'm 5'6", what? It would have been better if I was 5'8" or 5'9".
You know what? You're a good-looking guy. I mean, listen. It doesn't matter if you're 7'10". You're a good-looking guy.
All right, all right, Charles. Charles, thanks for checking in, and hopefully you're with us again on Monday.
Can I call back?
Yes.
Well, let's not go crazy,
Charles. Call back every day.
No, don't tell him that. This guy will. Charles,
you guys take care.
What do you do for work?
Charles. All right. So we're on Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 Eastern time. We come on at 6 o'clock exactly. We end at about 9:45, 9:50 every single day, Monday through Friday. So I guess we'll see you Monday then.
No. Don't.
Hey, you know what? Can I say one thing?
Another thing, Charles?
It's one thing after another.
Can we stop you?
All right, go ahead.
I think you're talented. I told you I'm not gay, but you're a good-looking guy.
Okay.
You seem to have, you got a great show. I'm going to start watching you guys.
Okay, that sounds like what you said before.
Thank you. Hey, have a great weekend.
Okay. And by the way, I came. Do you want to know how I discovered your show?
Yeah, you went to YouTube and it suggested.
There's another online podcast. called. It's just one of those silly, goofy podcasts. It was Elisa Jordana.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
That podcast.
I've heard of It's Not Delivery, It's DiGiorno. Is she related to the pizza?
Maybe. I don't know. Listen, I'm going to start watching you. I'll call you another time. Take care.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. Or don't call, Charles.
That could be the best call of the week.
I don't know, man.
I said I'm 5'6". Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah.
I'm glad Michelle didn't say, oh, dear Lord.
He had to reaffirm his sexuality several times. I'm not gay, but.
All right.
After the third time.
All right, who's on line 4?
What are we doing?
Is this?
Are we giving away the Asia tickets?
Yeah, well, not yet.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I'll give away the Asia tickets at the end.
What are we doing?
Hey, Joe and Sefner. Joe, hi. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, MJ.
Hey.
So, yeah.
You think I'm a good-looking guy?
Yeah.
Thanks.
That guy is cool.
All right, go ahead.
I was going to say the DoorDash guy. I think it was organic. I wouldn't put it on him that he was just a moocher.
Yeah, let me reset this, Joe, because it's been a while. We did this. We did it right before the break. So right before we took our final break a few minutes ago, I was telling the story about this Uber Eats driver, and he is out in Phoenix, and he's engaged to get married. And for a year and a half, he's been doing a little side hustle delivering Uber Eats. And he's been slipping a little note card into people's orders. And the latest was that he dropped the note card into a Chipotle delivery being delivered to a lady named Erica Hernandez. And the note said, "Thank you for your order. I'm driving for Uber on the side to give my fiance the wedding she deserves. And any additional tip through the app or Venmo is appreciated." Then he puts his Venmo handle on the card. And I was just asking, is this guy really engaged? Was this organic? Or was this guy know exactly what he was doing? Was this like a new way of begging for tips? Is this like a newer version of, when you go to a fast food restaurant and now they're looking for a 20-25% tip when they hand you your bag at the counter?
Just saying what he has going on.
So what do you think, Joe?
I think he is engaged, and he's genuinely wanting to raise that money. I just think it's great that we live in a culture where people can ask for help, because years ago, generations past, everybody had to be a self-made man. You can't ask for anything or you're weak. So the thing is, it's wonderful when people can lay their needs or even wants on the table, and people can help them as needed, So it makes the world a better place. So I think it's great when people can give to things like that. So I think it was organic, and I think it was great that people helped him out.
All right, good enough. Thank you, Joe, and have a great weekend.
You too.
All right.
So I remember in my youth, we went to a strip club, and the young lady was telling us she was putting herself through school, and me and my buddies must have paid for a whole semester.
In $1 bills?
$1 bills.
She went to the Hillsborough Community College's the bursar's office with a stack of ones.
The bursar.
went to the bursar's office. Stack of ones. You have audio on this guy, and before we move on?
I think I do. Maybe I don't.
Paul Slobodian, who put the notes in on the Uber deliveries, begging for some extra tips for his fiance's dream wedding. All right, go ahead and roll it back, and let me hear it from the beginning. And you got to unmute it.
He has a bunch of videos.
Just hit pause. All right, and now go to the beginning. Here we go. Let me listen.
Hey everyone, I've got an update on what's been going on with Chipotle over the last couple of days. And what's been going on with my fiance, Allie. People have been asking, where's Allie? What does she look like?
Don't tell me like Chipotle's going to cater the wedding now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
See Allie, so I do have an update on both of those. Chipotle actually reached out earlier this week, and they are interested in becoming a part of our wedding celebration in some capacity. Yep. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, they're going to provide the plastic forks and napkins.
That's awesome. That's one less expense.
Be in contact with them and to hopefully see this through. So thank you to Chipotle for reaching out. The crazier thing is that we were actually on our local TV station last night, and our story, they did a little segment on us, and it has actually gone nationwide. It's been picked up in Seattle, New York, Atlanta, all over the country. So our story is reaching farther than we could have even imagined. And I've got the clip here at the end of this TikTok. So if you want to stick around and see that, you're welcome to, or you can search it up online and find it that way too. So I just want to express my gratitude to everybody who's reached out with a kind message. It truly means the world. This has been an incredible experience.
This guy's pretty genuine, MJ.
And I can't thank
All
everybody.
right, so maybe he's not phony.
He's not mooching for
Back
extra
with another
money. He's
update at some
saying.
point. I don't know when, but until then, thank you.
I'm waiting for it to say that he needs a liver transplant now. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Well, listen, the guy's being honest.
All right.
I mean, if you
All
drop,
right, so maybe I need to be a little bit less suspicious of every human walking on the planet.
he wasn't looking for thousands. He was looking for like an extra $2 or $3. If you can give it, here's what it's going to. I personally like knowing where the tip is going to.
Hey, I saw this last night in the New York Post that in Brooklyn, patrons were in a restaurant in Brooklyn and bandits roll into the restaurant and hold everybody up in the restaurant for wallets and watches and jewelry and everything.
That's straight out of Pulp Fiction.
My God, really? A pair of bandits went into a Brooklyn restaurant, robbed diners at gunpoint. This was in Williamsburg in Brooklyn. I mean, I know the Williamsburg, Brooklyn area very well. And they went into a Chinese restaurant that's apparently a pretty hot place called Birds of a Feather. They walk in with a gun. They demanded watches and jewelry and phones. My God. See, this is where you need to, carry concealed and just light up their life.
Yeah. Not in that city.
You light up my life and, just... Oh, my God. That's the problem is, I truly believe that people ought to have the right to defend themselves. But, I mean, when I saw the story, the reason why I'm mentioning this is just to think of possible scenarios. You should always, when I was learning to drive, the driving instructor would pound into you. This is like the school driver's ed.
Yeah.
And then I even did like a private driver's ed after school and I think on a weekend or two, just kind of speed up the process so I could get my license a little faster than the school schedule. And I just remember always, look ahead. Always, when you're going through an intersection, always anticipate. And when I saw this story, I'm like, this is an example of you always just have to anticipate just something happening. What would you do? You're in a restaurant, you think you're in a safe spot, and suddenly bandits roll in like some kind of Pulp Fiction deal. Exactly. What were the nicknames in the restaurant? What was it? Honey Bun. Honey Bun, right? Honey Bunny?
Honey Bunny.
Honey Bunny. Man.
Anybody get their wallets back?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a great scene. Travolta's in the bathroom, and you got Samuel L. Jackson is just with his bad mofo wallet, right?
That's awesome. That's one of my favorite scenes ever.
And they had the whole the briefcase with all the cash, right?
He lets him keep all the other wallets.
Oh,
give back mine.
Man, anyway. Now, it's just one of these stories where it's like, you always have to think, what if? What will you do? What if? Just think about that. All right, anything else before we get out of here today?
I don't know. That's it.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty good week.
Yeah, it's been a great week. And this is the end. And, to put the icing on the cake, to put the cherry, and speaking of the cake, what the cake girl did for us, and Chloe and Kirby, the cake girl's husband, and Christina, thecakegirl.com. What they did on Wednesday night was just phenomenal. And if you didn't see the video, go to my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio, or go to MJ Morning Show on Instagram, or go to the Cake Girl and see the video of Michelle and I surprised at our 30th anniversary dinner. We were at dinner in South Tampa, and they called the restaurant Donatello. They coordinated. Michelle and I went early. We were at dinner at 5 p.m. Only a few people in the place. It was just quiet. We were tucked in a booth in the corner. It was just, and then no expectation whatsoever. Here comes a camera crew and a cake and the cake girl and Chloe, and they surprised us with a 30th anniversary, gorgeous, elegant cake from thecakegirl.com. So it's been a heck of a week. I just slammed the microphone off. It's been a hell of a week. It's been a fantastic week.
Yeah.
And I talk with my hands. What can I do? And to top it off, even more icing on the cake, let's give away the Asia tickets right now. Asia is going to be at the Hard Rock Event Center on Monday, July 22nd, and The final act on today's show is you can win tickets right now. If you're the 28th caller, caller 28, 800-990-1047. If you're the 28th caller, you'll win some Asia tickets at the Hard Rock. So good luck. Caller 28, 800-990-1047. And with that, Fester, anything else you want to say?
That is it. I can't wait for everybody to get back Monday, Tuesday.
No, yeah, because
Roxanne's out on Monday.
Yeah, Roxanne is still traveling on Monday. So, all right, 9:47 at the MJ Morning Show. Andrew's going to find caller 28 right now, and we'll see you back here Monday. Have a great weekend. Have a phenomenal weekend. Of course, you can always reach out to me. I'm 100% accessible always. MJ at mjmorningshow.com. That is my private email. And my Instagram is Certified MJ Radio. Give a follow. And if you haven't seen the engagement,
the 30th wedding anniversary.
I started to say wedding, then engagement. Maybe I just need a break for the weekend. If you haven't seen the video, that's up on my Instagram as well. It's Certified MJ Radio. Have a great one, folks. We'll see you back here Monday morning on the MJ Morning Show on Q105, and let's be careful out there.